Welcome everyone, and we are live to share with you a crazy canvas mistake that a fellow member of ours has made, generated an insane amount of money very quickly, and has made so many mistakes. He has more holes in his campaigns than a Swiss cheese. And talking about that, I am joined by the legend of all kinds of weird traffic sources online and e-commerce, Mr. Christopher Reed. How you doing, Chris?
I am doing absolutely phenomenal, Barry. I've been counting down the minutes to this webinar. I'm so excited to be here. I think everybody's going to just absolutely go crazy when they see what's happened.
Well, you know what? You and I have been going crazy because when we saw what this guy's been doing, guys, we're going to share everything with you today. When we saw it and we saw like all the Swiss cheese holes, and yet he was still generating tens of thousands of dollars a month. It's just absolutely crazy. And we dived in, made a few tweaks, and guys, we're going to share everything with you over the next hour, 75 minutes. It's going to be crazy. All right, so let's just encapsulate, Chris, in 30 seconds what today is all about. We're talking about a trick that our friend, we're going to meet him in just a couple of minutes, in Canvas. But by the way, this could apply in other niches as well, but a trick in Canvas that was then he went into a very strange traffic source, which you know something about, Chris, but most people don't know about. But he was told not to do this. He did it anyway, got a little bit excited, and then wakes up to find he's made in sales tens of thousands of dollars, and he hasn't touched this thing since. When you saw that, Chris, I mean, your eyes left their sockets because Canvas plus this traffic source, no one thought about it. Well, you probably did, but I've never seen it discussed before.
Well, I still remember the moment when I looked at everything, and I don't remember exactly what I said to you, but we were in Atlanta when I saw it, and I looked over at you and I said something, and I remember our eyes locked because it was like we were communicating in ESP, because we were seeing someone who was having so much success. And I don't want to say doing everything wrong, but it wasn't because of the way the campaigns were being managed. It was in spite of it. And it just screamed out to me that there was so much money that was being spent that was never had the hope of ever generating a return on investment. And there was not enough money being spent on areas where there was a massive return on investment. So just by doing a little bit of adjusting, and again, I don't want to make it sound like it's obvious. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. But once you do know and you can kind of make the changes, I mean, the profit, the return on investment, the best, they're maximizing on how each dollar goes out and how many it brings back in is impacted tremendously. And it really was amazing. Like I just remember that aha moment when I looked at the whole thing and realized it was still profitable and how much better it could do. I mean, it really, really was one of those exciting moments. I get less and less of them over the last few years in business because you go through so many experiences. But when something kind of hits you and just rejuvenates that, and you feel like, you know, it's just this giddy feeling inside. So like I said, it's good. It's great to be able to present it to people and share it with everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Guys, if you're ready to discover this silly mistake and this traffic source, and how Chris has done a limited number of minor tweaks and is already 4x, 5x, 7x those results, give me a big yes in the chat box. Who's ready for this? Right? I need you guys to focus on this. I'm telling you right now, what you're going to see is something you would not have thought about. You would not have thought. In fact, it only takes a genius that doesn't listen to a word that Roger says. That's the only person that would have come up with this and just tested it out. And my goodness, this is a gold mine. This is a 7-figure store in the making. So everyone's ready to go. All right, Brett, if you can hand me over the screen. And let's start to rock and roll, as they say in the business. Let me just get it up. Hopefully you'll be able to see my screen in just a second. I need to change my display settings. I'm a genius. It's always wrong. Whatever I do, it's always wrong. All right, guys, we're going to watch a fellow member from Fiji stumble upon tens of thousands of dollars in sales with a Canvas secret or Canvas mistake. And you're going to see the tweaks that's going to lead us to what we believe is a 7-figure business. I mean, it's an almost a certainty. And that's coming up over the next hour or so. All right, let's get started, guys. And can you see my screen, Chris? Everyone can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it very clear as a bell.
All right, we are going to go back 12 months or so. Last year, Roger woke up and told us that he's about to build a brand new 7-figure store in the Canvas Nation. You guys may remember, this is going back to March 2017. Everyone who knows Roger knows when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. But no one quite, I don't think even he quite expected what happened next. Within a week, when we did some live training, Roger, over 2 days, basically took his store from nowhere to making $4,000 a day in sales. This is within a week from the webinar. He said, I'm going to go on. I'm going to build a 7-figure store in front of your eyes. Well, no one would have believed at that point that that is today making him $900,000 a month in sales. No wonder why he's run away from Canada and is somewhere in the Caribbean right now, lapping in the sun, soaking in his success. I mean, he literally, he's closing in on $1 million a month. And by the way, for those of you who are interested, it's about 25% in profit. So that's probably $2.5 million in his pocket as profit. Now here's Chris. Now this is a little misleading because that beard has disappeared. So if you can envision him without the beard, then you get to see Chris right now. He's generated millions over the years with Google Shopping. He made a fortune in just a couple of weeks over the winter period. And seeing how Roger has had so much success with Canvas, he's been determined to do the very same thing. And if you know Chris, it's got to be untechnical, it's got to be pretty simple, and it's got to be something that he can do quickly. It's just the nature of this guy, the way that he does business, in a very, very, very simple, methodical way, but it's got to be simple. Anyone who's ever met Chris, you understand why. He's a very clever guy, but anything technical, forget it. Guys, there's a beautiful ancient phrase. Anyone that knows the source of this, I'll be very impressed. More than the calf wants to suckle, the cow wants to nurse. And to me, that phrase means is that when there is, much as there's a desire for a student, for someone really wants something, when someone really is determined, is looking for that something in their lives, there's always a cow that you can find. There's always a teacher. There's always someone that is there to provide the information. And I'm just curious if you guys, anyone's worked out where that is, that little phrase. I think it's a gorgeous phrase. Imagine our friend Chris the calf, who wants to suckle, wants to find a way to build a Canvas store or an e-com store, a Canvas e-com store, and then find someone who's looking for that way to do it that's going to be simple and easy to follow. Well, here we go. We were approached. In fact, this was in Atlanta. We met our friend Sandeep. Those of you in Atlanta, you remember Sandeep? He was sitting way back in the back. This is a guy from Fiji. Let's bring him on right now. Guys, we owe everything we're about to share with you today thanks to this guy who doesn't understand the concept of listening to anything Roger and I tell him. But that's the reason why he's a bit of a genius and came up with a little treat, and a little surprise. Sandeep, are you there, my friend?
Oh, hi guys, how are you?
Good. There you go, Sandeep. So you're from Fiji and you now moved over to New Zealand, right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's go. Very good, Alan. Very good. That's why I did it. So you'd actually figure out that source. It was only for you, Alan Goldberg. All right.
Yeah,
so
not to say that I wouldn't want to be in Fiji right now because it'd be nice and warm.
Well, you know what? As I think a lot of us would like to be in Fiji. So this is what happened to Sandeep, guys. We met him in Atlanta, and he showed us how he generated $40,000 really fast in e-commerce by complete mistake, or should I say, by not listening to us. He didn't listen to us when we said that the best way to do Canvas, and this is what Roger taught last year over 2 days, is basically you find great Canvas art, something that's got emotional attachment, and then you go to Facebook and you start making sales. Well, he didn't listen. And he preferred an approach that had no complicated advertising. He didn't want to guess, so he just took stuff that was already working, and he started to copy and paste what was already working, and he used a new traffic source. Now, when he showed us his campaigns, and we saw that this guy, for every $3,000 or so, or every $4,000 that he was spending, he was making $3,000 in profit. Could you imagine a slot machine? Can you imagine going to Las Vegas, where for every $4 you put in, $7 came back, and you had $3 in your pocket? That is the greatest slot machine you could ever hope to play. We saw this with our eyes. And Chris, you start diving into this site, into the store and what he's doing. What did you see here, Chris? What is it here that started? You said, oh my gosh, these numbers are ridiculous. And this is just a small section of those results. But what did you see that made your eyes pop?
Well, the first thing that jumped out on me really was the return on investment. That was the first thing when I thought, wait a second, for every advertising dollar you're spending out, you're bringing more than $1 profit back in. I'm talking profit, guys. That's off the charts. That doesn't happen. I hadn't seen that. I mean, there was a few campaigns where I've seen that in the past, but to have a whole store doing that just blew me away. So then when I looked inside the campaigns, and I thought, well, wait a second, there's mistakes here. Like, this has got a return on investment that's through the roof, despite the fact there are several money-wasting mistakes here. So that's really what jumped out on me, the massive return on investment, despite several basic no-nos that I would teach to do differently.
Awesome. And so, Sandeep, just to be clear about this, you generated that $40,000 in sales at the beginning over a couple of months. Now, let's just be clear about this. How much time did you spend? We're going to go over the details later on, but how much time did you spend on setting this whole thing up?
From the time when I actually heard about the Google traffic from Chris to the point where I set it up was about 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay.
And
after that, how much time have you spent, or do you spend on, until we started diving in and making some tweaks, how much time have you spent on maintaining that and working on your store?
Basically zero from a campaign point of view, because it's automated basically because of the Google Shopping app that's inside the Shopify store. All I do is just upload a new canvas design on there, and it's straight away, because of the Google Shopping app, it goes straight onto Merchant Center and everything just gets handled by itself.
So we're talking about, so just be clear about this. We're talking about a guy that spends 3 hours. He takes some canvas designs that are working, he sets it up in 3 hours, leaves it, and it's churning out about $10,000 a month. Guys, who thinks that is insane? Right in the chat box, insane. I'm just curious, who here thinks that that is insane? Right? This is a guy from Fiji that didn't listen to us. I should be really upset with you, Mr. Sandeep. He didn't listen to us. We're talking about Facebook, and Sandeep goes, oh, I know a lot better. I'm just going to throw it up on Google. We're going to share with you exactly what he did in a couple of minutes, right? We should all be shedding a tear for Barry right now, because we've got a student who didn't listen. And what happens? He starts making $10,000 odd a month, not listening. Now, we're going to go further into this. So he lets this thing running. It's got more holes. This campaign's got more holes in it than a piece of Swiss cheese, and it's still churning out results. So he shows us the campaigns. We see the holes that are in there, and he was achieving this with absolutely no work and not even touching. You're going to see how silly some of these mistakes are. And again, I don't mean to say Sandeep, you're silly, but how simple these mistakes are and how easy it is for us to follow and to be able to tweak and get better results. So then Chris wakes up, right? Remember the calf and the cow? So I forgot who's the cow and who's the calf in our story, Chris, but between the two of you, one of you is a calf and one of you is a cow. So then Chris wakes up and he says, oh my gosh, I just remembered what Sandeep did. We got in touch with Sandeep. He takes a look at the campaign, makes a few minor tweaks, and you're going to see a little bit later on how a little tweak or two that Chris has been making starts getting 7 odd sales a day. And he's only just started literally 24 or 36 hours ago. So with a little tweak, this thing is starting to explode. And we're going to share that with you today. And out of courtesy of what Chris has done for Sandeep, Sandeep is right now allowing us, and this was our request, and he's been very kind, to allow us to share with you his mistake, what he did, Chris's minor tweaks, that's now putting them on course to hit 7 figures. Remember, Sandeep's from Fiji. He didn't follow what we told him to do. He's done this all on a shoestring budget with no experience, just threw it up there, 3 hours setup time, and no management of campaign ever since. So today, we're going to show you Sandeep's mistake that's making a great profit without him having to lift a finger, Chris's minor adjustments that's already 4 to 7x Sandeep's results the last 24 to 36 hours, how you can copy and paste this accidental format and replicate it in Canvas and any other niche. We're going to show you how to find the best Canvas around and the best products around so you can make sales really fast without any of the guessing. You're not going to have to touch Facebook. You're not going to have any creativity. You don't need to do marketing. You don't need to do optimization. You barely need to do any maintenance. And there are no hassles. Guys, who's ready to discover in detail Sandeep's full, simple, accidental campaign that's making him 6 figures in sales, and the simple steps that we're going to take together, you and Chris and I, to turn that into 7 figures in front of your eyes? Guys, I want to see if there's excitement, or we can all go to sleep right now. Fiji, it's goodness knows what time it is. And people going absolutely bonkers. All right, let's get into this then, step by step. So now, coming up, guys, you need to do me a favor. If you're not talking, if you just mute your microphone so I can hear a little bit of background noise, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, coming up, we're going to be focusing on Canvas because there's so many advantages to it, but this can be applied to other niches as well. So if you are interested in Canvas, my goodness, this is going to blow you away. If you're not, you're going to be blown away because this is easy, applicable, and applicable to any other niche as well. But we do recommend that you start going into Canvas for the reasons we're about to share. So guys, here's the big secret. I want you to write this down. C plus GS, Canvas plus Google Shopping. Sandeep already gave it away. Canvas plus Google Shopping Network. We've taught you about Canvas in the past. We've got a ton of members that have done amazingly with Canvas. We've meant to and shared with you Google Shopping. Chris has taught Google Shopping. We've got a ton of people that have done great with Google Shopping. Combining these two things together, we've never discussed, we never thought about. This was Sandeep, and my goodness, this is working. All right, yes, Canvas prints, like pictures, paintings that you would sell, and this is how Roger, by the way, has built his $900,000 a month store. It's all in Canvas. So why should we be selling Canvas? There is a few major reasons, and then we're going to get into Google, and we're going to share with you, by the way, again, you can apply this to other niches as well. But let's focus right now on Canvas. Why is Canvas so hot? Number one, it is a relatively high-end sale. We can make a nice profit on each sale. We can sell a Canvas item, lowball, $60, $70, up to hundreds of dollars. So we don't need to focus on low-end products. So if you're making $50, $60, $70 a sale, you have more money to use in order to be able to make that sale, and then you obviously can make more money as well. Number two, why is Canvas so hot? Roger's average client is worth hundreds of dollars because a client comes to buy a canvas, they're likely to buy more than one canvas. Why? Why do you think that is? Who do you think is the type of person buying a canvas? It is a person going into their house or wants to decorate their house, but the house has got 10 rooms. So if you're going to buy a canvas, you're very likely to say, you know what, I get something for the living room, I'll get something for my office, something for the bedroom. Once you start to buy, you're going to start buying again and again and again and again and again. Someone goes into a new office. What do? You have to take care of the office. You've got 7 rooms in the office. You need canvas for all of those rooms. So the beautiful thing about Canvas is it automatically almost obligates someone to buy a canvas to think about buying more. Doug, you got it right. Hotels, businesses, it's insane. Roger had a $10,000 deal last week from a store, a regular store on Main Street, and that sells these kinds of things. They just went crazy and bought 50 types of canvas. This is the second big reason. Number 3, and as I pointed out, all kinds of people that buy canvas are going to need more than one, and then they come back again and again and again. Number 3, this is something really powerful. You can build a store and give it a bit of a branding without having to do hardly anything. Roger's been offered high 7 figures for his store, high 7 figures. It's an incredibly valuable asset. Now with the regular e-com stores, Jared's been telling our members and eSpeed, you know, you create a store, it's probably worth 2x of the sales you could generate over a year. With this, you could do an exit 4, 5, 6x of whatever you are generating. So listen to this, guys. You literally would be able, with $20,000, say, in sales, that could net you a $1 million exit just by getting your canvas to 20 grand in sales. This is absolutely insane. So got another benefit. Number 4, there's less competition. The more you focus on great designs, and we're going to show you how to find them like in a way you've never seen before. Inspired by Sandeep, we're going to reverse engineer the entire process. But when you find something that's a little bit unique, it's unique to you. It's not a product that other people are selling. That gives you a situation where you've got less competition. So once you get this going, once you get momentum, you are made. Guys, you understand the power of Canvas? That it's high end, that clients to you could be worth a fortune. They're going to buy again, again, again. It's an office, it's for a building, it's for a hotel, it's for the house. These are repeat buyers. You've got automatic, simple branding in your store. You're unique, you stand out, and you've got and are building a valuable asset. Give me a big get it in the chat box if that makes sense to you. I just want to make sure this is making sense. I'm just going to wait for, I'm going to be very kind here. I'm going to wait for 960 yeses. All right, you guys get this. Awesome. Let's move on. Let's move on to Google Shopping. The Google Shopping Network. Everyone's focusing on Facebook, but the biggest elephant that we've discussed in the past and no one else is really talking about is the Google Shopping Network. There are so many advantages to Google Shopping Network over Facebook that I think everyone needs to know about. Number 1, and Chris, you can elaborate upon this. Google really, compared to Facebook or any other traffic source, really makes this easy. There's no complicated advertising. You don't need to be creative. There's practically no learning curve. How do you encapsulate in what way Google is so much easier than any other traffic source in terms of generating traffic, Chris?
It's because you don't have to identify the target audience. And I love Facebook, and I don't want people to think that I'm putting it down, but part of the art of Facebook selling is taking your product and thinking about who might be buying this. You're going to go out and send out the boats that Roger talks about and look for that audience. Where Facebook or Google is much different in that people are looking for you. It's buyer traffic, and they're specifically looking for you because they entered the name of your product, or they entered a name that Google believes relates to your product. And now that's a very, very key point. And I really want people to focus on this point, because a lot of people think they understand Google. They think, yeah, I know what keywords are. I understand that. If I'm selling Canvas, I bid on a keyword called Canvas. That's not how Google Shopping works. Google Shopping knows the keywords that relate to your product and then learns them as time goes on. So you don't have to guess who your target audience is. Not only that, you don't have to guess, especially when you use our tools, you don't have to guess what your keywords are. You put your product up there, you describe your product using the way we teach, and Google will direct you buyer traffic. That's it. That's all. You don't guess. You don't target girls. You don't target boys. You don't target the elderly. You don't target the youth. My wife wouldn't necessarily be buying stuff that she buys for her office, but she ordered about $2,000 worth of artwork for the walls of her office about a month ago. So it's really, really, really different and much, much easier.
Absolutely, and we've seen this with our own eyes. It's an entire process is a lot easier. Sandeep, from nothing, set this up in 3 hours and hasn't touched it since. Number 2, Chris alluded to this. When it comes to Google Shopping, it's not like Facebook that you're hunting for people to look at your store and hopefully you're going to turn them into buyers, but Google is bringing you buyers. So you're not hunting for them. Google is talking about when people are saying they're looking for a certain type of canvas to purchase, this is a person with buying intent. So when someone's got that buying intent, the ability to sell to them is a lot easier than Facebook, where they have no intention to purchase, but you're trying to convert them into purchases. That's the second point. The third part, as Chris just alluded to as well, is that Google is going to optimize their campaigns for you. That's how consistently Sandeep sets up a Google Shopping campaign for 3 hours, leaves it, and every month for 4 months until he met us and talked to us and showed us his campaigns, and now it's been tweaked and he's starting to see those numbers explode. He's been generating $10,000 or so in sales without actually touching anything. And the numbers are getting better and better and better. So you just need to set this up and allow Google to take over and to do the optimization for you. As Sandeep himself said, he didn't have to touch this in months, and it's making him nice money each and every month. We saw his profit margins are extraordinary. That's because Google is doing the optimization for him. It's not like Facebook, where you need to consistently all the time create your own optimization. Number 4, competition. The whole world's talking about Facebook when the biggest Goliath, the biggest elephant in the room is in fact Google. There's more traffic on Google than there is on Facebook. And yet no one's talking about the Google Shopping Network. So this is insanity because there's an opportunity where there's less competition. And we have members that are doing great with Google Shopping. But this combination of Google Shopping with Canvas is something we have never seen before until Sandeep, who didn't listen to us, showed us what he did, the naughty student, and here he is making up a lot of money, making a ton of money with a bunch of holes in his campaigns, like a piece of Swiss cheese that we can easily rectify, which we're going to share with you in just a couple of minutes. So guys, do you understand the power of the Google Shopping Network? It's easy to apply. There's less competition. There's no active creative advertising required. You don't need to optimize. They bring you the clients. You don't need to hunt. Give me a big GSN if you understand the potential of the Google Shopping Network. I want to see who gets gold, silver, and bronze here. Jeff gets the gold, Amber gets the silver, and Chris gets the bronze. The rest of you are still fighting for 4th place. How unfortunate not getting the gold, silver, and bronze. All right, now, GSN is hot. We've seen members do great. Canvas is super hot. Roger's doing $900,000 a month in sales. But GSN, Google Shopping Network with Canvas, is something we never saw before. This is unique. It's incredible, and that's what Sandeep did that's completely blown us away. So let's get into the practicals of this. Now you understand the framework of what we're talking about. Let's get practical. As Olivia Newton-John once said, and she said, let's get something else, but we're going to say she said practical. How on earth are we going to find incredible designs so we can set them up in the Google Shopping Network? Remember, we're going to need to spend 3 hours, and with Chris's help, by the way, that'd be reduced to less. Maybe an hour and a half. But you're going to spend, let's say, with being conservative, 3 hours. You're going to set this up and just leave it with a few tweaks, and that is it. And allow Google to bring you sales. So we really need to find, this is the biggest deal of all. We need to find winning designs. How do we find them? How do we get them distributed to our clients so they fall in love with us, so that they're going to want to buy more and more and more so we can make profits fast? That is the million-dollar question. Now, those of you that don't know this formula, write it down. Roger's found the Canvas formula. This is now proven beyond any shadow of a doubt. This is the $900,000 a month formula that Roger has. That's a $10 million, that's an $11 million plus a year business. It is this. You have to find great art with an emotional saying. You combine those two and you have a bingo. Again, it's got to be quality art that people are going to fall in love with some emotional saying that makes people say, oh my gosh, I want this. And you're done. Guys, just make sure, I want to make sure you've got this. I don't want anyone left behind. Write in the chat box, A plus ES equals B. A for art, ES for emotional saying equals bingo. Okay, write that down in the chat box. Joseph, you got the gold this time. Kendra gets the silver and Sylvia gets the bronze. All right, so art and an emotional saying is bingo. Because again, we want to tap into people's emotion with this art. You get into the innards, they have no choice. People buy on emotion and then justify with rationale afterwards. We need to erupt people's emotional state, and this is how we're going to do it. But the question is, how are we going to find those winning combinations? You have two options. One that you need to have a lot of patience for, and the other, well, you could be a Chris and get away with it. So here are the two options. Sorry, Chris. Two options. Either we're going to we're going to guess our way until something converts. This is the approach that 99.9% of people are trying. They are looking for pieces of art that they think look good. They're looking for phrases that they think might work. They're sticking them together, and they're spending money, and they're hoping for sales. And guess what? Many, many times, vast majority of times, it isn't going to work. Now, if you want to get this approach to work, you need to be prepared to literally create a ton of designs, find an incredible artist and creative artist, an amazing bunch of different types of slogans and sayings, test them all until something sticks, and then you're going to then you start to scale. All right, that of course is difficult, right? And there's no guarantees whatsoever of success. There is another approach, guys. And if you understand this slide, it is game over. The second option is to reverse engineer what's already working. Now, Sandeep made a ton of mistakes with the Google Shopping, hideous mistakes with Google Shopping. It, in fact, has got more holes than a piece of Swiss cheese. But because he reversed engineered, he took stuff that's already working, he then basically stuck those on his site and started to make sales. Now, if he was on Facebook, he'd still need to test to find the audiences, to find the buyers. He'd still need to test a lot of stuff with the traffic. But with Google, he was able to throw it up there, and Google started to bring him the buyers. Guys, you see the power? Which do you prefer? Guessing or RE, reverse engineering? Who gets this? Jody's got the gold this time. Beth, you won this. You won the bronze. Jeff, you're always in the top 3. This is insane. There's 900 odd answers here, and Jeff's always second or first. All right, so we obviously want to reverse engineer the process. Now, this is where Sandeep was smart, because he took what was already working. So smart that you could practically mess up the traffic part and still made a ton of sales. And within that, as I mentioned, for every $4,000 he's been spending, he is returning $3,000 in profit. This is insane. Now, some of you mentioned that Pinterest is a potential gold mine, because you can find the exact designs that people love and the sayings that they love. I mean, guys, think about this. We could guess our way to finding out. Or what if we could find tens of thousands of people that actually tell us they love this piece of art and they love this type of saying? Like, duh, add the two together, we have ourselves a bingo moment. Guys, you see the power, the potential of that? Right? This is absolutely huge. We aren't guessing. The marketplace is telling us tens of thousands of times what is better. Now, I know some of you are using Pinterest, and Scott says Pinterest is unbelievable. My best traffic comes from Pinterest. Or comes along Carrie Fisher and says that Pinterest tools no longer work. Absolutely. Pinterest, here's the bad news. And this is a huge issue that we fell into with Sandeep's formula, because we said to ourselves, wait a minute, Sandeep didn't actually come up with any creative designs of his own. He just found winners. The best way to find those winners are on Pinterest. But there's a problem with Pinterest, because Pinterest has made it impossible, with a big I, impossible for you to find the most popular canvases on their system, because they know that instead of it being a social sharing site, it basically became a marketer's paradise where people were just stealing ideas from people and using that to make a lot of money. So they got fed up with it, and they've made it impossible for almost every user out there to find the most popular canvases on the system. You can't see the amount of pins that the system has. So it's now almost useless for anyone wanting to tap into this incredible resource. So we entered into a major problem, but we didn't, because we just sat down with ourselves after the Atlanta event, and Chris and I said, okay, we need to build and create the impossible. You can't do Pinterest the normal way, so we've got to find a backdoor that we will be able to explode Pinterest and get the exact results that we need. That's going to tell us what art and what quotes people want to purchase. All right, so guys, throw out a few niches for me. Let's talk about, let's talk about something. Let's talk about animals. Talk about something that's emotional. What type of niche would you like us to show you that you can like this? With a click of the mouse, you'll be able to find the best art, the best quotes. Okay, friendships, dogs, lions, animals, another lion, dance, cats. All right, we've got 2 lions and a lot of cats. So let's go for lions. All right, let's hand this over to you, Chris. Let's go through this. I want you to show everyone how, you don't even have to click the mouse to get this information. Guys, you're about to be blown away. Brett, if you can take over this for me and hand this over to Chris. Chris, can you show us, please, exactly how we're going to find winning designs? Let's get into, as you said, let's go, guys, let's get into that line niche. Over to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, everyone. Guys, check this out. This is a tool. I really want your attention here because this is something that if you just kind of watch and don't pay attention, it won't stand out to you. If you've been in business, this is going to blow you away, because what you're going to watch me do over the next couple of minutes is you're going to watch me come up with ideas that are going to generate me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of sales. And you're going to watch me save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in frustrating market research, test campaigns, all of that stuff. I'm eliminating it. I'm going to find out what people like. Now, that concept, that idea, that vision is not new. Okay. In the old days, if you studied university in the 90s or earlier, you heard of focus groups where you'd have some sort of product and you'd figure out your target audience and you gather a group of people that represented that target audience, put them in a room and show them your product and ask them for their feedback. The results used to give you an indication whether or not your product was something that you could bring to market. If you didn't get good results, you were back to square one. If you got great results, then you can go to next stage. Now, of course, the great results, even then you weren't certain, because you're getting a group of people in a classroom asking them questions. They might not give you their most sincere results or answers, or they might think they're giving you sincere answers, but they're not. They're not in a natural setting. Okay. Not only that, you're only getting it from a few dozen people, and not only that, you're also doing a little guesswork on who your target audience is. I'm going to show you how to get way more data than even a multi-million-dollar corporation used to be able to get, and how to take all of the guesswork out. Ready? Don't blink, because you're going to miss it if you blink. I'm going to click on our tool right there, the pre-machine, and I'm going to do a search. I searched before. I saw some people come up with this idea earlier. Lion quotes. Okay, that's always a good idea. There's some great stuff there. So I'm just going to do a search and come up with lion quotes. Now, see, no guts, no glory, no legend, no story. Isn't that cool? If you kick me when I'm down, now aren't these cool? I wonder if other people like them. I think they will. Maybe I'm going to send this to my designer. That's what normal people do who are trying to get into the canvas niche. I'm not going to do that. I want to know what people think, what they actually think, what they reacted to, what resonated them, what images stimulated people into action. Now I'm scrolling through this, and as I'm scrolling, you're watching weeks, months, years of data be accumulated. It's happening right now before your eyes. This has got data from 220, 230, 250 in images. It's scraping data from Pinterest. It's scraping data on how people react. Now, guys, if I have an image that gets a reaction from people, and I'm going to use that image to create a piece of canvas that I'm going to put on for sale, and that image is going to form an ad, and I already know that that image resonates with people, do you see how that's a competitive advantage in visual advertising? I hope so, because if I already know that this is what people react to, I'm so far ahead of the game, it's insane. Now check it out. I've got 518 images into my little data scraper here. I'm going to sort by save. I could use more than that. I can use less than that, but I like to use about 500 as a benchmark. Check it out. This one comes up. 78,341 people like this. I don't need to like it. I don't need to think that's great. I don't need to think that this is the best thing ever. I already know other people do. I could take this image, send it to my designer, tell them to clean it up, customize it a little bit, take the quote, put it on there, boom, I got a winner. How do I know I have a winner? Because 78,341 people told me that it's a winner. That's 30,000, almost 30,000 more than this one, which is also pretty cool. I know this one is something that people like. It generates a reaction online, which is what this is all about. took all the guesswork out. I could send that to my designer and tell them to make it, use this idea, customize it, sharpen it, make it our own. I can go through this and get idea after idea. Folks, I can get a dozen ideas here just in this 5-minute search, and it's all going to be justified through years worth of data, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people's feedback, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to take all of the guesswork out of my store. I'm going to come up with dozens of ideas quickly, and they're going to be images that are getting responses online, which is the format, the forum I'm putting my image on. Guys, this is a way to make money, okay? This is a way to save money, but more importantly, it is a way to make money. Guys, I hope that makes sense. Barry, I don't want to take too much time. I can go on and on and on because I love this tool, but for now, I think people understand it. I hope you guys got that. Barry, I'm going to turn it back over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad we found you. Guys, you see the power of that? This is absolutely unbelievable. You literally now, and this is impossible, you cannot do this with Pinterest anymore. We've got a way, and we found a way through the back door to know exactly what people love. We just got there a quote that is what 70-odd thousand people saying, I love this quote right in the chat box. Genius, genius. If you understand the power of now having 78,000 people, the highest amount of people in entire Pinterest when it comes to lion quotes, that are telling you, I love this. I love this. This is what we call reverse engineering. This is what we call not guessing. Now, unlike Facebook, you don't need to now sit there for some time and try and figure out audiences to sell it to. This was Sandeep's genius. He just threw it on the Google Shopping Network. You don't need to be creative, guys. Right now, what I just want to be clear about this. I am not suggesting you go and just steal people's ideas. You should still find a designer. We're going to show you how to do that and make some changes to make it slightly your own. But with some minor changes, you've got the quotes that people absolutely love. It's game over. We're going to just take those winners. We're going to make some small changes, and we're going to sell the living daylights out of these designs. Guys, if that isn't the easiest way to be able to find winners, I don't know what is. People going absolutely bonkers. Okay, let's move on, guys. We've only just started the process. If you want to see another way of doing this, right? Yes, there are other ways. There's other ways of doing this as well, which is crazy beyond belief, guys. I'm gonna give you a little trick as well, and this works on a lot of Shopify stores. Doesn't work with everyone, but here's a crazy idea for you, just that you know just how powerful this is. All Shopify stores are basically hosted on the same servers. It's an IP address in Ottawa, Canada, and runs. You can do a reverse whois lookup, and you can find all the websites in the world that are hosted by that IP. Basically, you can find the best, the top tens of thousands of Shopify stores in about 3 minutes, right? This is absolutely insanity. And then if you just add this little, at the end of the URL, and I've got there the quote there on the slide. You can take a screenshot of this slide if you like. At the top of the screen, you should see a camera button, /collections, /all, etc. You can get the best-selling products of those stores. So within 5 minutes, we can reverse engineer and find winning designs and winning products that we can sell and just get it up there. Stick it on Google Shopping Network. We don't even have to hunt for buyers. Google will bring them to us. Guys, if you think that's another cool trick, write in the chat box, cool. Right? That is pretty insane. You want to have it even easier? I'm going to show you something even easier. Let me show you something, guys. Look at my screen. Here are 28,000 of the top Shopify stores right here. You can go through them and find winning designs. You click on a button, you'll find the site, just like that. Just click on a site. Right, here's like number 8. You can find the site in just a second. You can find the winning site in just 1 second. You want to go one step further. You want to then look at their best-selling products. Just click over here. They'll tell you their best-selling products. Guys, you can literally reverse engineer in 3 seconds. I just gave you another trick that you can use to find winning products in just seconds. Guys, if you are freaking out, write in the chat box, F-O, freaking out. I'm going to wait for 998. I don't mind if two people, like, you know, suddenly had to run away for whatever, but I'm not moving until I get 998 responses. People are freaking out. Guys, there's over 28,000 Shopify stores right now. We're about to give you. There's no guessing. We have removed the guessing. This was Sandeep's genius. He didn't listen to a word about traffic. He went into the Google Shopping Network, but finding these products is as simple as literally clicking a mouse. All right, right now, we've now got the ability to get our hands on guaranteed winners. We're not guessing. It's not, oh, it might work. Guaranteed winners. So far, Sandeep was a genius. He was smart. Wasn't the most creative person in the world, but doesn't need to be. He's copying, taking stuff that's already working. Now it's time for the traffic. This is where Sandeep accidentally fell upon a gold mine. As I mentioned before, Roger's been teaching Facebook, and don't get me wrong, Facebook is an amazing tool. And I want everyone here to learn how to use Facebook, because that's how Roger's making $900,000 a month, making millions in profit. But Sandeep didn't listen. He went to the Google Shopping Network for the reasons we mentioned before, because you set it up once, you just leave it. He worked 3 hours in 4 months, and the thing turns out $10,000 a month in sales for him, of which 3 out of every $4,000 spent, $3,000 is profit. They bring you the buyers, they help you scale, they help you optimize, and you don't need to even lift a finger. And we saw those numbers that before that Sandeep's been able to achieve, and he's literally has not touched it in 4 months. But we did not realize how big this breakthrough was until Sandeep showed us, and we saw his store and noticed the silly errors that he was making. That's right. He was making, I can't even mention the word, enormous errors that you just start to rectify these errors. And these are minor tweaks, but they're major errors that are going to impact your sales. You fix these little errors that he was making, you could turn what he's been doing into an obscene fortune, which is why Sandeep agreed. This was the deal. We are going to help Sandeep if Sandeep agrees to share this with our audience, which is why we very much need to show a lot of appreciation for Sandeep for allowing us to do this training with you today. Here are just some of the mistakes that Sandeep was making. Number one, and Chris, again, we can just quickly go over this because we're going to share with people exactly how to do this. This is easy, tiny little tweaks that are going to just explode Sandeep's business. And I'm going to show you that it's already starting to have an impact after 24 hours. So number one, Chris, he wasn't optimizing by device. So he was like literally just sending traffic to all kinds of devices and wasn't looking, oh, this is making more sales than that, and literally was wasting money. That was number one, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, number two, multiple products grouped in one campaign. So basically it's just throwing everything into one campaign, didn't separate it at all. How much work do you need to do, Chris, to be able to dive into that and actually fix it? Is this a ton of work that people would have to do to make the fixes that Sandeep didn't make?
Well, if you set it up from the beginning properly, it's no work. It's absolutely nothing. If you set it up wrong, you can still recover. There's work involved, but some of the data is going to have to be basically repurchased, only because if all of your products are grouped in one campaign and you see a keyword that, you know, Google will show you the keywords that they assign you, and you decide to remove it, it may not have related to one product, but it might have been great for another. So it's something that we can fix. But it's best when it's set up properly.
And how much extra work do we need to do to set this up properly that Sandeep didn't do?
Oh, I mean, it's the exact same amount of work. It's just hitting a button at a different time.
Okay, so no additional work, but now you need to go in. Okay, guys, so Sandeep spent 3 hours. Now he needs to spend 3 hours plus 1 click. Okay, so bear that in mind. There is extra work we're going to have imposing upon Sandeep. It's an extra click of the mouse, right? Sandeep is starting to sweat with the extra work that we're throwing upon him. Okay, the next thing, bids are not optimized by location. So budget is being wasted on people who don't buy and buyers that were being missed. So how much extra work would it take to be able to optimize by location?
Oh, it's minutes. This is a minute long. These are multi-minute optimizations, I guess I would have to call collectively. It really isn't long, and it's actually a lot of fun to dig into the data. It's a little hard to find how to do this and where to find it, but once I show you, it's really easy, and then it's fun to see where the money's being spent and what areas of the country respond more than others.
Okay, I think that Sandeep's running to get himself a beer. He's getting a bit nervous here. So 3 hours, 1 click, and 1 minute. Okay,
yeah.
Great products were not being advertised. So he was only advertising some of his products and wasn't even focusing on some of the other products. So to be able to add more products into advertising, how much extra work is that going to take?
Probably about 30 seconds per new campaign.
Okay, Sandeep, I hope you're not going to have a heart attack. You got your initial 3 hours, 1 click, 1 minute, and 30 seconds. Okay, remarketing campaign was underfunded, right? And Sandeep, because he just left it, he wasn't even looking, and it starts churning out $10,000 a month in sales. So to be able to scale up, is this just a matter of just adding a little bit more money into Google?
Absolutely, it's just click, change a number, click, done.
So we got 3, I'm gonna have to remember all these things now. 3 hours, 2 clicks, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Last part, the incredible Google Bid Simulator is not even being used. Advertiser rating getting hurt and buyer traffic getting missed, and Google never comes to what it can be. What do you mean by that sentence, and how much extra work is Sandeep gonna have to put into this in order to be able to get better results, and what results will this generate?
Google's new platform, the way they reviewed and redid AdWords, and I mean, there's the tools in there are phenomenal. This is, again, it's fun. I mean, it would probably, you're going to look at each campaign about 30 seconds. You click on a button, and then you can start to adjust your bids to get a higher click share, a more traffic share, like a higher click-through rate. They'll help you adjust your bids depending on what you want to achieve. They make it super, super user-friendly, super easy. And again, you're probably talking about 30 seconds or so per campaign, depending on how slow you are clicking buttons.
And let me just ask you, what is the ramification for Sandeep? He's spending, for every $4,000 he's spending in this, he's getting about $3,000 back in profit, which is an amazing slot machine. You add these 6 steps that you've got mentioned over here, which is probably a combination, maybe, let's be very, very conservative about this. Let's say you need to spend an hour to make this work. What do you think conservatively this will mean for Sandeep's store?
Oh, conservatively, I know that 50% of every dollar being spent was completely wasted. So let's say that $4,000 spent to generate $3,000, $2,000 should never have been spent. So it would be $2,000 spent to generate $3,000 profit, or better yet, put that extra $2,000 towards where the money was being spent properly, and we could turn that $4,000 into $6,000 profit. In addition to that, we can add, I mean, I don't know, I can get off the rails here pretty fast, Barry. It's going to have a huge impact.
Unbelievable. Guys, do you see the power of this? Again, what Sandeep had created was genius for not listening to us. But he's got holes, but these are tiny holes that need a little bit of tweaking. And we're talking about being able to literally scale up this business, which is why when Chris saw this, he said, Sandeep, we've got a multi-million-dollar store here, right? Is this incredible, guys? Give me a big wow in the chat box if you understand what Sandeep has fallen into. This is crazy, right? Everyone's going absolutely mad. So then Chris gets to work on this and said, you know what, Sandeep, you know, I'm a hardworking person. Let me spend 4 minutes on your store. I want to do a little bit of extra traction for you just to see things happen. So then Sandeep, that's getting a sale every now and again, suddenly he starts getting 7 sales on a single day, 4 sales, 7 sales, 10 sales. I mean, and this is only within 24 hours. And by the way, that was slow because Google took like, and you see there was a couple of days where nothing happened there because it changed over basically. There's a bunch of changes that Chris made. And then Google says, wait a minute, what's going on here? So there's like literally a 24-hour, 36-hour wait where nothing happens. And then suddenly, whoop, we're straight up to 7 sales instantly. 7 sales instantly. And this is just the beginning, Chris. So what are you expecting over the next week, 2 weeks? Those 6, 7 sales, what are they likely to be making on a daily basis?
Oh, that's just the start of it, Barry. I really want to see during the month of March a bold prediction. I'm going to drive myself to see if we can generate $100,000 in sales this month, which is going to get us up to over $3,000 a day. or higher. I mean, I don't see a limitation on this. It's people are out there searching for this stuff. Every room you're in has something on the wall. People are out there searching for this stuff. So I say 100,000 as a bold prediction, but at the same time, I'm afraid to say that because I feel like I'm limiting myself because I just can keep adding campaigns and optimizing things. And I mean, 7 or 8, I mean, we have to wait for Google's machine to fire up and adjust to the changes that we've made. But once we get it smooth and humming, I don't even want to make a prediction because it would be a limitation.
Absolutely unbelievable. And I know your eyes left their sockets when you saw what Sandeep was doing. So guys, we know where to find winning products. It's done. It's game over. We know we stick this on on the Google Shopping Network. It's working like crazy for us. And that's despite Sandeep's schoolboy errors. You fix those, the potential then becomes insane. So once you get set up, you'll be able to sit back and allow Google to optimize for you. And Chris has broken this up into a step-by-step process. You can even outsource this process of setting this up. What Sandeep spent 3 hours on, you can even outsource that. You don't even have to set it up, even though we do recommend, of course, that you follow the way that Chris sets it up, because you don't want to have the same holes that Sandeep had. Why would you limit yourself to $3,000 in profit for $4,000 spend? Guys, are you getting excited? We've now found winning canvases. We know how to set up the Google Shopping. We can outsource it if we don't want to do it ourselves. We're just going to follow the little tweaks that Chris recommends. We set up a budget and we start to fly. Okay, now let's just hold on for a second before we get totally carried away with this. Roger's making $900,000 a month on Canvas through Facebook. Now, we've been ignoring Google Shopping. We didn't even think about the combination of Google Shopping with Canvas. But what if you want to crush Facebook as well? Here's an additional cheat step that's coming up. 12 months ago, Roger declared in front of our members that he's about to build a 7-figure Canvas store. He hadn't even started the process until then. And then goes through the entire process of building a Canvas store and how to set up Facebook campaigns and how to strike for gold and how to scale up. Well, Roger, on that training over 2 days, which he only did a week after we actually went on the webinar declaring he's going to build a 7-figure business. A week later, he does live training for 2 days and starts making $4,000 a day in sales within a week. That's gone up to $900,000 right now, which is absolutely insane. A lot of our members took that with Facebook and have been doing extremely well. Some of them have had issues with Facebook. It's not finding great products, but with Facebook, well, with Google Shopping, you've got a way to be able to get up and running. But I'm just telling you right now, if you want to 4x, 3x your results, you combine Facebook into this, we're talking about silly money. But even without that, you can build a huge business just through Google Shopping Network. But those of you that are thinking about, you know what, if I can make $1 million, why don't I make 3 or 4 million? Why don't I do a Roger, start making $1 million a month? Then you also want to think about Facebook as well. So guys, let the journey begin. Sandeep has discovered a stunning formula by mistake that's crushing it for him. Chris has started to make some small adjustments to Sandeep's Google Shopping Network campaigns. That's taking a few minutes of work, and it's starting to scale instantly to create what we believe is the most insane 7-figure e-commerce strategy that we've ever seen. The combination of art, Canvas with Google Shopping. And now you're invited to join us for the ride. Who's ready to do this the lazy way? Well, Chris is taking you on a journey. He's going to show you, and we've already shown you on this training, winning products that you can have coming out of your ears and nose. He's going to share with you amazing suppliers so that you can get a great customer experience for your clients. You're going to be set up with Google Shopping Network once and for all so that Google can get to work on sending you sales with all the tweaks that you need. You don't need to be creative in advertising with Google Shopping, unlike Facebook. You don't need to be a great advertiser, and you certainly with this formula do not need to guess. Guys, who here would love to be held by the hand and join Chris on a journey that we did not think even 3 weeks ago we'd ever be taking until we actually dived into this store and saw the incredible latent potential right in the chat box, me, if you would love to be held by the hand and to be taken on a journey like something we have never seen before. Guys, this is the lazy way. We provide and send you and give you, invite you to join the complete lazy canvas system. We call it lazy because we're going to reverse engineer everything. We are not going to guess. You're getting access to a ton of stuff and a lot more than you have on this page. The Pinterest reverse engineering machine that you saw before, the Shopify database machine that I shared with you before of over 28,000 of the top Shopify stores. Again, you don't need to guess anymore. 2-day mastermind training from complete scratch to massive scale. We're going to show you from A to Z how to set up your Google Shopping campaign, what Sandeep did in 3 hours, set up for Canvas and more with all the tweaks that you need. You're also going to get access to Roger's complete Canvas Explosion 2-day mastermind that he did last year, that he went from A to Z. And I'm just telling you right now, if he knew he was going to be doing $900,000 a month, he might not have revealed everything he revealed over there. It's absolutely insane. Plus, we're going to allow for the very first time complete access to the Atlanta recordings, including for a small group of people. Also, they're going to get access to a part of day 3 recordings as well, where we go into people's stores and actually monetize them and show them how to scale up. Plus, multiple thousands of dollars in bonuses that you will not believe coming up in just a second. So you're going to get 2-day mastermind with Chris, and Sandeep's agreed also to join us for part of that training. So Chris is going to create a new 7-figure business in front of your eyes. He's going to take you along for the ride as well. So with him, he's going to walk you through and hold your hand as you create your store, find amazing canvas, set yourself up on the Google Shopping Network, and allow Google to bring you sales. You're going to find out which art is working. So you'll be able to literally be looking into a crystal ball and seeing what to sell without the guessing, without having to test. You're then going to get yourself set up with Google Shopping to allow Google to bring you the traffic. These are 2 days that are incredible. And by the way, we're also going to give you access to our Atlanta recordings. If you weren't in Atlanta, if you were and didn't make day 3, my goodness, there's 2 days of incredible insights, 4 hours of hot seats on day 3. Every member is on the verge of crushing it from that event. This is insane value. We're adding that as well. Plus 2 days of Roger's complete rags to riches canvas mastermind that he did that's led him to $900,000 in sales. This is the Facebook element. So once you've got Google Shopping, you're also going to have everything you need for Facebook as well. It is the A to Z of finding amazing products, setting up Facebook, and being able to get initial sales and scaling. Within 10 days of when he said, I'm going to build a 7-figure business, he was making $4,000 a day. This is 2 days of insane mastermind training. It's no longer available, but Roger, it's allowed us to open this up to our members that join today. So you're getting access. There's a ton of other bonuses as well. You got the Pinterest reverse engineering machine, pre-machine. That's nearly a $2,000 value. You got a 2-day mastermind with Chris holding your hand. That's nearly a $2,000 value. You got Roger's complete Canvas Explosion 2-day mastermind. That's now at $19.97. It's no longer available. 3 days, 2.5 days of the Atlanta recordings. That's $6,000 value plus insanity of bonuses that is coming up in a couple of minutes. There's only $12,000 of value. Guys, this is crazy. You have 2 options for just $697. Join Chris for a journey of a lifetime. You get access to the Pinterest tool plus the 2-day mastermind. If you want to go platinum for just $897, not only are you getting the Pinterest reverse engineering machine, not only 2 days of from scratch training with Chris, you're also going to be getting Roger's complete Canvas Explosion 2-day mastermind that's led him to $900,000 a month in sales. The Atlanta recordings, 2 days plus 4 hours from day 3. You're getting our recordings from New York, which is a $10,000 mastermind, because we want you. Once you get GSN, Google Shopping, we want you to crush Facebook as well. You're getting 3 insane additional tools as bonuses, and we're going to do something even more crazy. For 100 members, we're deliberating if Chris can do 50 or 100. We've decided we're going to do this for 100. Once you get set up with the Shopping Network, you've gone through the training, the first 100 members will get a free $1,000 gift consult with Chris. Half an hour that Sandeep spent with Chris is probably going to explode his business to 7 figures. You're going to get that consult with Chris as well. So you want to be part of this. It's 100 members. Just that consult alone is worth its price in gold. Anyone that's at the live event knows what it's like to spend 20 minutes with this guy. Guys, here is the link. Here we go. It is LazyCan. LazyCan for Lazy Canvas. Go to lazycan.com right now. As soon as you join, 100 spots also is going to get that free consult with Chris. We've got crazy bonuses coming up that you will not believe. This is just for platinum as well as the consult with Chris. It is lazycan.com. You need to head there. This will go fast. People are going bonkers. I can see people have already joined during this webinar. Some of our VIPs within 4 minutes when they saw we're talking about us, Michal, you've got to get me into this, that have already joined. I'm going to be looking for the names in just a second. Head over now. It is LazyCan for Lazy Canvas. If you want to join Chris on an incredible journey, combining Canvas and, of course, Google Shopping Network, you need to go to lazycan.com right now. This is your chance, but I'm warning you, this will go fast. And I can see people are already joining. I'm just reading out names in 30 seconds. I need to just refresh my page because people are going bonkers here. Let me just refresh, and it's taking me Murphy's Law some time. If you joined, let me know in the chat box. Alan Goldberg, who actually spotted the quote at the very beginning. You got that right, Alan. You're in and you are safe. Eddie Spencer, you're in and you're safe. Alice, you're in and you are safe. I can see people are joining. As soon as you do, let me know in the chat box. I can see now, I just refreshed. More people are joining as we speak. I'll be reading out names in just a second. Now, if you're having a problem joining, you're going on the page, there's an issue. I can see people are diving in here faster than I have seen. This is insanity. Go to savelazy.com. If you're having a problem joining, savelazy.com. So you've got 2 options right now. It's either lazycan.com to join, or if you want to save a spot, it is Save Lazy. I can tell you right now, Deborah Collins, you're in, you're safe. Mary Storino, you've done it. You're in and you're safe. Douglas Bassler, you're in, you're safe. Wendy Porter is also safe. Mary Kay Wade, you've done it. You're safe. Randolph Zongi, you're safe. You're in. Alan, I mentioned your name. More people are joining by the minute. This is going bonkers, and I'll add some extra names in just a second because every time I refresh, another 6 people join. Chris, what are your comments so far? This is insane. We owe a debt of gratitude to Sandeep for allowing us to share this with everyone. But what are your comments so far?
I'm just really glad that people are seeing the value in this and they're acting on it, because it's the thing that was always frustrating is when I was looking at good stores and I saw people doing campaigns, and I would get people showing me, they'd say, okay, look, I've got traffic, everything's right. You're directing traffic, but you're directing traffic to a page that, where the product does not stimulate people. This product speaks to people. It's an emotional purchase. You are conveying a message to your guests, or you're conveying a message to your customers. You're conveying a message to yourself even by putting these things on the wall. So it's a very emotional purchase. People make multiple purchases. People will come back and make repeat purchases. I mean, if you sell some electronic gizmo to something, which is great, people, I mean, you make a lot of money with that. But if you send them an email follow-up saying, hey, we have different gizmos, I mean, is it really something that somebody's looking for? Whereas if they've made a purchase from you of a piece of art from a specific niche, you can send them other offers down the line, and you're going to have a huge repeat buyer list. That's why these particular businesses have such value. It's not just the money you're going to make while you're operating it. You're building a brand that can be sold, okay? You're building a brand that has value to someone else. People are going to buy from you. They're going to buy from you again and again and again. That email list is worth something. Your ad account is worth something. Your store name is worth something. The art that you've produced is all worth something. That's why, like Barry mentioned, we're going to get people going. We're going to get them started. We're going to get you up into those 5 figures and even 6 figures per month. And then at the end of a year, you can get your business assessed and you're going to have an asset that you can sell and just step away from it all. Guys, that's why this one is just so very exciting. And that's really what the takeaway is. It's not just money for the moment and e-commerce. It's money for the moment, but money long-term, because you are building an asset.
Here we go. Some more members have just joined. David Glass, our close friend. You're in and safe. Orjan Gustafsson, you're in. Nancy Reum, you're in. Lester Wittig, you've done it. You're safe. Joyce Kerr is in. Patchup, I'm not sure your real name. You're in and safe. Andrew Hudson has done it. Joseph Abiso is in. Ed Walker. Sanjit Khalsa, you've done it. Deborah, you have done it as well. You are the last to join and you are safe. This is going fast. If you want to be part of this journey, it is an exciting journey, because we've never seen this combination before of Canvas together with Google Shopping for the first time. It is your domain as well. Guys, we're throwing in some extra bonuses as well. And this is absolutely insane. We can show this off in just a couple of minutes, Chris. But the Google Shopping Network tool that we've created is insane. It, guys, is going to show you the exact keywords to get your Google Shopping listing to the top of the listings, and even beat Walmart. Chris, can you just describe very briefly what this is all about? And Brett, I think in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask you to show a little walkthrough that Roger did of this when we first shared it. But guys, this is an additional bonus at Platinum. What is the value of this tool, Chris?
This tool, I mean, the value of it, to put a dollar figure on it, I don't know if I should tell you how much money it saved me or how much money it's made me, or combine the two. It would be, I don't even want to say. I mean, it'd be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, for sure, because the thing is that what Google does, and this tool does, is what Google does is it allows you, okay, to basically create name your product and describe your product by inserting keywords into it. The tool will help you find those ideal keywords and help you create the proper names and descriptions. I know that doesn't sound exactly clear, but when we show you how to do it and we train you on it, it's going to be abundantly clear. It's just going to show you what keywords are getting the most searches that relate to your product, so you can include those in the names. That stimulates Google and gets them going and helps them assign you other keywords that are going to expand the amount of traffic you get. So in the first 10 days of a campaign, Google may have found 50 keywords that relate to you, whereas in the first 30 days, they might find 500 keywords that relate to your product. So traffic will always continue to increase if you've set it up properly and given Google the correct clues. Maybe that's the easiest way I can say it.
So basically, it's a matter of, again, a little bit of a search. You're going to find the keywords. You're going to create a description of your product with the keywords, and Chris is going to show you how to do this. This is so simple. This is about 3 minutes of work. But now this is the key to getting your ad, or getting your product rather, to the top of the Google Shopping Network. Remember that Google is responsible for more traffic than any other platform in the universe. And now you can get to the very top of that as well. Guys, a load more people are joining right now. We got a ton more additional bonuses coming your way, but this is going to go fast. And yes, we are going to run out of spots for Chris's consults very quickly. So again, the 2 links you need is LazyCan. If you want to be part of the Lazy Canvas journey, go to lazycan.com. If you're having an issue joining for whatever reason, you need to wait 24 hours, you need to speak to a spouse, go to savelazy.com. You need to do that fast as well, because those spots are going to disappear. Reading out names of people that have just joined in the last few moments. Cheryl McCalder, you're in and safe. Joyce Kerr, you're in and safe. Geek, you're in. Fabian Spies, you're in and safe. Barbara Kravos, you've made it. You're in and safe. Our close friend from Australia, Michael Halsey, you're in. You've done it. Joseph Sorkin, you're safe as well. James Irwin, good old Jim, good to see you back. I know you're on vacation. You're back and you're in and on the journey. Dave, you're in as well. You are safe as well. We have a ton more people. I will read out more names in just a few moments.
Barry,
now, yes.
Oh, can I throw something in here?
Yes, please.
Because I just saw the part where you said yes, beat Walmart. I forgot to mention about that, how that works. And what I meant is that Google will actually show you what percentage of available search traffic you're being included on. So if you've optimized your campaigns properly, the way I teach and the way I'm going to teach everyone, when you optimize your campaigns, you also get a Google advertiser score. They don't tell you what it is. They just give you one for them to know. It's a massive asset, and when you show what your impression share is, in other words, the amount of traffic you're included on, that becomes a massive thing to show as an asset. And so when I ran a campaign competing directly head-to-head with Walmart and other big box stores, I was using some optimization techniques, and this is during Q4 holiday shopping season. I was getting a 100% search impression share. So in other words, for all these search words that I was bidding on, I was getting shown 100% of the time. Walmart was at 80%. So I was outperforming Walmart. I was getting more traffic on a product that I was competing with them head to head, and I made more money than with them over that crucial holiday season. So the techniques work, and I can teach people how to do it. It's not difficult. I just need to spend some time to show you guys how to work it.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Guys, there's another bonus coming your way as well. Our Canvas mockup machine. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It is simple. You can literally, you know that when people are searching for a canvas, you want to be able to show that canvas in a place where it's likely that they're going to purchase, whether it is in a living room or whether it is in a office space. Let me share with you something. This is just absolutely sensational. You can create literally in 2 seconds, you create a new background. Supposing I want to show, we found a lion. That just use that example that Chris had before. I hope you can see my screen. Yes, you can see my screen. Let's say we want to show that lion, for example, let's say we want to see it over here. Let's say you just want to use it like in a museum wall with a bench, or in a reception area, something like this, right? So you've got this beautiful reception area. These, by the way, Roger has tested as being the best converting ones there are. You go to browse image, you just go to pictures, wherever you save, whatever it is. I've got a lion here, and voila, in a second, this is going to show up literally in just a second. All you have to do is do a 3D effect like so, and you've got yourself a beautiful canvas. You press save, and it is done. It's as simple as that. So you literally have now got, as well, on top of everything else, you now have the means to be able to create these these gorgeous mock-up designs in about 20 seconds flat. That's another additional bonus coming in at Platinum. We have a load more people that have joined, Chris. I'm going to ask for your help to start answering questions in just a second. You can start looking for questions. Guys, if you've got questions for us, let us know in the chat box. If there's a question that you have, something you're not certain about in terms of this strategy, let us know in the chat box. In the meantime, Naveed Saeed, you're in and safe. Dennis Tays, you're in. Gail Carton, you're in and safe. Ann Connors, you've made it. Chris, our close friend. Chris Goff, you're in and safe. Cheryl, you're in and safe. And Joyce, you're the last person to join. You are safe as well. Chris, any questions that you'd like to answer?
Just a couple. I mean, I do see some people that are asking about, are we going to get into fulfillment and things like that? We're going to cover everything, guys. We're going to get into everything. We're not going to leave you with any questions. We're not going to leave you with any gaps or, oh, now you have to figure this hardest part on your own. Like, I mean, that's not happening. We're going to show you guys everything. You're going to be able to offer your customers 7 to 10 days shipping. We're going to show you how that you can sell a product. Your profit margin is going to be like a 3 to 1. In other words, if you're selling a product for $150, your cost is only going to be $50 for the actual physical product, including shipping. And we're going to show you all of that, no holds barred. So don't let anything like that kind of make you worried. This is going to be a comprehensive course. We're going to have a ton of people who follow the steps. If you follow the steps, this will work. The other question I wanted to address really quickly is, do we feel that there are enough niches to get everybody involved with each other, for everybody to participate? The answer is, again, absolutely yes. I mean, I was even just thinking about this the other day, how many different niches there were. And one of them I came across were, like, let's say kids' bedrooms, right? Now, a kid's bedroom, that's not just one niche. boy, girl. Okay, there's 2 niches. Nursery, okay, that's now boy and girl nursery. And then toddler, they're all interested in different things. I know this because I've got an 11-year-old girl and I've just redecorated her room for the 4th time since she was born. Every single time, new stuff goes up on the wall. So that's 1 room in my house that's been redecorated 4 times. The niches can subdivide down and down and down. Girls that are interested in horses is a huge niche. And guys, as a man who has a daughter that loves horses, I'm telling you, there's not much out there. There's just not. She searches and searches and searches, and she looks for things. And the stuff that we find with horses is so basic. If you were making some good artwork targeting girls who like horses, and again, girls from the ages of 5 to 8, girls from the ages of 9 to 11, girls from the ages of 12 to 15, girls from the ages of 16 to 20, 21 plus, 30 plus, 45 plus. And no, I don't mean only girls. Do the exact same process again for boys. There are so many niches that you can go into here. I don't want to see unlimited because I guess there's a limitation on everything, but you know, just start looking at walls, guys. Start looking at walls everywhere you go and realize how much stuff is on them. It's inspiration everywhere.
Right, and Pinterest is also, if you're not looking at someone's walls, just look at Pinterest. You've got millions of walls over there. By the way, I do need to give credit. I mentioned before an incredible way to be able to find Shopify stores. Just use a little link. One of our members, Yossi Bitzala, was the one who came up with this idea of actually creating an app around this. So I just want to thank Yossi for sharing that with us. That Shopify little trick that I showed you. With the members area, you've got in your members area a machine that is working using his idea and his software. So I just want to thank Yossi because he's been using that, has been generating a ton of sales with it, and very kindly told us about it. So that's an additional bonus you're getting at platinum level that you now can get your hands on 28,000 plus of the very best Shopify stores out there. So you can literally just search for what's working and be able to use that in your marketing. So a very big thank you to you, Yossi. Now, let's just, guys, if you've got a big question, you have something you need to ask, this is your opportunity now, because I see there's a load more people that are joining. I'm going to read out their names in just a second. So people asking, for example, that I'm working on another Shopify store. Chris, how does that fit into that? If someone's already working on that store and suddenly now, you know, this is big opportunity in canvas of Google Shopping. Are you looking at this as a detour? Is this something that you should and could be doing simultaneously?
Absolutely simultaneously. I mean, guys, it's not like I wasn't doing anything before this came upon me. I look for opportunities all the time. When a lot of times people kind of think, well, when things aren't going well, you look for new things. And when things are going well, you don't look for new things. No, I mean, if you've got a store going, and I've got clients, I've got all sorts of different things going, but when I see an opportunity, I jump at it, and that's entrepreneurship. So people who already have another store, I'm not saying change course, I'm not saying change direction, I'm not saying ditch your other store. Keep doing what you're doing. This will not take a lot of time. This is something that's very passive. Google Shopping is very passive. You can set it up and then just follow our training. We'll show you the little optimized steps. I'll give you some ideas on how to structure your optimized times out every day. Spend 15 minutes at a specific time. That sort of guidance is what I'm going to give you. So this is certainly not something where we're saying ditch what you're doing and do this instead. This is something that we're saying is an absolute gold mine that entrepreneurs need to look at and jump into. That's what we're saying here, guys. Don't change course.
Guys, and this is very important for you to understand, you know, for those who that find that building a online business or an e-com business is a draining process, especially if, for example, you may still be at work or you may have other responsibilities. You may be looking after children. You may be busy with other pursuits at the same time. And you've got this dream, this desire to build an e-commerce store. And we all, you know, I'm sure that this is true to many of you that are sitting here watching this webinar right now. If you're in that situation, the most important thing that you need to get is traction. And the most important thing when it comes to traction is to be able to do it with as simple a way possible, so you can prove to yourself that you can do this. Because there's nothing better than, you know, a Sandeep making $3,000-4,000 in profit every time he spends $4,000, that he's able to sit back and say, you know what, I don't need to have a day job anymore. I now can focus on this full time. And he starts reaching out to us, and you know, we're now going to be working on that store, making those tweaks, and making him a lot of money. So for those of you that are looking to build an e-commerce store, but have always been hesitant, have always been concerned about Facebook, and concerned about, you know, what Facebook is, you know, in terms of the elements of Facebook that you need to make sure that are working, the finding the right audiences. Once you've found the right audiences, is finding the right age groups within that audience, and then really hyper targeting and looking at your data, and then having to optimize on a regular basis. If that is something that's been holding you back, or you know, life has got in the way and you've been scared to do Facebook advertising because of the necessity to be on top of it, otherwise Facebook can spend your money very, very quickly, and that's something that's been holding you back. That is the beauty of the Google Shopping Network. Of course, you want to set yourself up the right way. Sandeep made a bunch of mistakes and did it in 3 hours, and has done very well for himself regardless. You want to follow Chris's strategies and Chris's recommendations to do it the right way. Of course, you need to do that. But we're talking about a setup time of a couple of hours, not of daily hours and hours and hours to make sure that Facebook doesn't take away a lot of your money. Right? That's not what happens with Google Shopping Network. Your focus, once Google starts to work and starts to bring you a buyers, is simply to manage the level of scale that you're going to want to have based on the results that you are generating. So especially for those members that have had a hard time in the past with Facebook, this is an incredible opportunity. I can just mention Pete Savage, you're in and safe. Ulrich, our close friend, you're in and safe. Janine Michael, you've done it. Jeanette Rand, you're in and safe. Robert Siebold, you've done it as well. Joshua Sitting, you are in and you are safe. This is going very, very quickly, guys. If you want to be part of this journey, the time is now. The time is now. Just a consult with Chris by itself is worth more than your investment today. And that's even if you go platinum. Yes, it is, Shell. Yes, it is. So if you can't join today, then fill out the form at Save Lazy. If you want to grab a spot with all the bonuses, it's now or never. Okay. Is this under Really Successful's website? No, of course, you're going to be building your own Shopify store. And we're going to give you Shopify training as well to get yourself set up with that. That's a walk in the park. Awesome, Christine. Okay, let me ask you a question then, Chris. You know, what are your thoughts? I mean, you've done things now in Facebook. You've obviously made a lot of money in Google. People are still asking, should I be focusing on Facebook? Should I be focusing on Google Shopping Network? You've already mentioned that Google Shopping is a few hours of setup, and then it runs by itself. But you know, what is it? Is there anything else you want to share about Google Shopping that's attracted you to it as someone that's not the most technical in the world, and not a person that, you know, wants to spend hours and hours and hours on traffic generation? Is there anything else about Google that makes this attractive to members?
I mean, it's just that it's buyer traffic, right? I mean, the thing is that there's an art form to doing Facebook. And again, the training that we offer here is second to none. You follow that training, you're going to have success, period, full stop. You don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, what you have to learn how to do is get people who are not who aren't shopping. They're just scrolling through Facebook, looking at whatever they look at, and then suddenly they see something that grabs their attention and converts them into a buyer. Suddenly I'm off of Facebook, I've got my credit card out of my pocket, and I'm a buyer now. On Google, before I come to my computer, I pull my credit card out. I've decided I'm shopping now. I realize, oh, my daughter needs new art for her room. I'm going to go to my computer and make some purchases. I've got my credit card, I'm ready, I'm sitting here, and I'm going to do it. That's the type of traffic that you come across with on Google. So in my view, and again, I don't want to disrespect Facebook marketers, in my view, the traffic on Google is a better type of viewer. It's a better traffic source. To add to that it's easier to get because Google knows that people are looking for you. Once they start to understand what your product is, and once they see that your campaigns are optimized properly, which is where we come in, and once they see that people are responding well to what you're offering, they're going to give you more of the available traffic. You're going to go to the front of the line. You're going to get more and more and more traffic. And every time you add a product, you're going to get traffic right away. You're not going to have to try to figure out who is going to like what you're selling. Google knows there are people out there looking for it. Those are the people who are going to see it. So the ease of it is unbelievable. And I kind of, when we travel together and I see Roger open up his computer, and I mean, this guy's a master marketer on Facebook, and I'm watching him do, like, you know, he'll put in an hour and a half worth of work to create some new campaigns. And I kind of sit there and I figure like I should be doing something. So I'll open my computer and start looking at things, and you know, I'll end up, you know, surfing on the net and just kind of feeling like I should do some work, but I don't have work to do because the work is being done for me. Google is doing the work that a Facebook marketer does. Not only that, is there's a funny kind of existence in e-commerce right now. Facebook was so huge and it is so powerful, and there's so many aspects to it that people were teaching it, and more people were learning and then teaching it and learning it and then teaching it and learning it and then teaching it. Nobody learned Google Shopping. People focused on Facebook. When people heard e-commerce, they heard Facebook first when they were learning it. Everybody, I mean, all of us can witness that. We all experienced that. People weren't doing Google Shopping because nobody was talking about it. We're talking about it. And boy, oh boy, when we stumbled across it, we've seen massive, massive success. This latest success in this niche that's proven on Facebook, I mean, the amount that is proven on Facebook, we're just at the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to what it can do on Google Shopping. So, I mean, I love Google Shopping for those reasons. It's easy, it's not technical, it's passive, you know, it works while I'm sleeping. I can set a campaign and walk away for 2 days and it doesn't just suddenly die. It's predictable. The work that I put in to set it up, which is minimal, continues to earn me money for days, weeks, and months going forward. That's what I love about it.
Guys, another massive bonus with Etsy Machine. This is an incredible, again, this is the Etsy Machine. So imagine you're now going to be with this Etsy Machine. You can search for the very best products on Etsy. Etsy doesn't allow you to do that internally. We built a machine for Etsy, so you can now find the most incredible products to sell, not just through Pinterest, not just directly through Shopify, but through Etsy as well. This is absolutely insane. It's an additional massive bonus to those that join at Platinum. So I'm going to go over absolutely everything that you are getting in just a second, so you can see for yourself. Let me just go over this one more time. We're going to answer your questions. I can see a bunch of people that are asking questions, and I'm afraid it looks like we're not going to be able to do an encore later today. This is just going so fast. Again, if you just joined us, let us know in the chat box. So you join at Platinum, you're not just getting the Pinterest reverse engineering machine, 2 days of from scratch training with Chris, Roger's 2-day mastermind, Facebook mastermind, complete Atlanta recordings, New York recordings. You're also getting the GSN or the GTM tool, the mock-up tool that I showed you, plus an Etsy tool. It's in your members area as well. Plus, Chris is going to do a one-on-one consult. This is huge, and it's happening now, guys, but it's coming to an end. So again, the key here, if you want to join, is LazyCan. If you want to be part of the LazyCanvasJourney.com, and if you're having a problem joining, SaveLazy.com, SaveLazy.com. All right, guys, if you've got questions, let us know in the box, in the chat box. Russell, it looks like there will not be a replay later today. I'm going to have to cancel that, I'm afraid. But this is going so fast. We have to see and look at our numbers to see if we can even do one tomorrow. Guys, please, if you want to be part of this, this is your chance right now. You need to join ASAP. All right. Okay. Now I can see some questions coming in the meantime. Kathy Sakaris, you're in and safe. Four Wins, you're in and safe. OBO, not sure your real name. You're in and you are safe as well. Guys, I just need some more names. I'm missing a few names. People that just joined, let us know in the chat box as soon as you join. Wow, I've just got to come up for breath here for a second. Chris, perhaps you could just share with everyone the power of Pinterest. We showed the Pinterest reverse engineering machine, the pre-machine. What is it about Pinterest that you think is so unique when it comes to finding winning product?
It's just that, I mean, there are a lot of creative people in the world, and they really want to express themselves on Pinterest. But the thing I really like about it, and this is what I remember debating this in university, and I was a bit of a, I would listen and I would learn, but I would ask questions and I'd be a little bit confrontational, almost to the point of belligerence in university. But I would ask the professors, I'd say, you know, if you're bringing people into a focus group and you're asking them questions, how do you know that's how they really feel? People sometimes ask a question based on how their ideal of themselves. You know, like, what would you do if you saw a person in this situation? Everybody says, I'd help them. Whereas in reality, most people are walking by that person. What people do and what people say are not always the same. So when it's this tool that scrapes off Pinterest, what we're seeing is people who are not, it's responses of people who are not responding to a market survey. It's just their actual behavior. We're able to observe their actual behavior and measure it. We can see what they actually respond to. Some people would say, which image do you like best? And they'll say, let me think about it. I like the one on the right. Whereas in reality, when we let them scroll by certain images, maybe the image on the left would have been the one that actually caught their attention, but the person doesn't even realize it. And Pinterest measures actual human behavior that might even surprise the people whose behavior it's measuring. That's what I loved about it, and that's what really, really resonated to me, because especially when it comes to images, just for people who are not 100% sure how Google Shopping works, when you do a search on Google for a product, you'll see the normal search results come up, like, you know, the text stuff, but you'll also see photos of the product that you're searching for. You'll see a photo with a price and the URL. That's a shopping ad. So the photo is what people see. Now, if I'm searching for canvas, I'm searching for art, the photo, the image is going to have a massive impact. And I mean, we've seen massive impacts no matter what people are selling. People are selling Bluetooth speakers, and because they can show an image, they get massive results as compared to text ads. But when it's like a visual thing, like, I mean, a Bluetooth speaker is not as visual as a piece of art. When we're actually able to show people art, what we really want to do is use that opportunity and say, I want to show people something that they're going to respond to, that resonates with them. So I'm guessing, I'm actually projecting my feelings and my taste and hoping that others have that same taste. Whereas with the Pinterest tool, I don't have to guess at all. It's there for me. It's showing me. I'm seeing what people react to. So Pinterest is a treasure trove of wonderful art. It's a treasure trove of data, because we can measure what people respond to, what they save, what they actually react to. And we can take that knowledge and use it to build our business in a similar format. Because again, people are searching for art, and we're going to put out visuals in advertising that we know will capture their attention. In addition to that, we're going to show people how to use a remarketing campaign to keep showing them that positive image, that responsive image, the image that people reacted to on Pinterest. We're going to keep showing, we're going to follow them around the internet and bring them back to our store and get them to make the purchase. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, and I absolutely love it.
This is a brand new Pinterest tool, by the way, guys. Pinterest has changed their rules. No longer allows us to be able to find the major pins. But what we have done is created the impossible. We have a way, and I know anyone else is able to do this right now, but we have found a way to be able to dive into Pinterest and be able to find the most saved pins that there are out there. So the images, we found the ones that are actually been saved the most. This is a backdoor to be able to achieve what other people are no longer able to achieve. And that's why Pinterest tools across the board are not working anymore. So I'm delighted we found a backdoor to be able to do that for you guys. Okay, Chris, there's a great question, and this really relates to the whole Sanjeev and his entire story. Some people asking about marketing budget. And again, you know, we were talking about someone from Fiji, now in New Zealand, but this is a person that didn't have a massive budget and had to be very careful and had a shoestring budget in order to get started. So perhaps you can just share with everyone in terms of what they need to get started with the Google network and to be able to start, starting to see sales and obviously be able to scale from there.
Yeah, I mean, guys, Sandeep was running on initially on $65 US per day. Okay, and some people will say, well, $65 a day, that's 650 every 10 days. That's almost $2,000 a month. I can't spend $2,000 a month. Well, don't forget, he was spending $65 per day and generating sales in the hundreds of dollars per day. He just wasn't able to scale up because he didn't have the financial instruments that allowed him to do it. In other words, you guys know how these stores work. You get some money in from the store, then you got to fulfill, you got to pay your ads, and then takes Shopify a couple days to put the money into your account. You get the money into your account. You've got to pay off your credit card before you spend more money or you max out. So you've got to basically pace yourself until your credit grows, until you have a higher limit. So $65 a day was where we discovered Sandeep, and he was making a full-time income. He was making profits, a $3,000 profit per month on $65 per day, which is incredible. So I just want to make sure that people understand that, though, is that if you had the means, I mean, you're not going to spend $500 a day if you're not making money. You're only going to increase your budget if you have the ability to. First of all, like if you have the financial instruments like the credit card with the proper limits. And two, you're only going to spend more money if you're making sales. And the way our system works, that takes care of that problem. We're going to get you making sales. It's just a matter of ensuring that you can pace yourself out. So in other words, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and you spend $500 a day on advertising, and then it's going to result in a whole bunch of sales, it's going to cost you another $1,000 to fulfill. That's $1,500 a day. In 6 days, you've maxed out your credit card. So on 7th day, you better make sure you get the revenues from day one. I might be making that sound confusing, but you just got to basically, we'll graph this all out. We'll chart this all out. I'll explain this all. It's simple stuff. I'm just making it sound complicated. It's simple cash flow business management stuff. But that's where we found Sandeep with his situation. So even if you're in a situation where you have a max out, I mean, you don't have a big limit on your card and you got access to about $50 a day to get your campaigns going, this can work for you. Absolutely no reason why it won't, because it worked for Sandeep. So don't be scared off by budget. We're going to show you guys how to plan out your business and how to make sure that you don't run into any problems.
Hey guys, just wanted to...
yes, Sandeep, the man of the moment. So yours.
Hi. Sorry, I just wanted to add in there. When I actually started with $20. And with $20, I was getting sales. Then I sort of got it up to $30, then $40, $50. Then I took it all the way up to $9. But this is New Zealand dollars. So when I say $20, that's probably, I don't know what, like $12 US a day.
Wow.
So wow. Yeah.
Wow,
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, see, you can do it with a small budget.
If you'd have asked me if $12, that's why I'm scared to answer some of these questions. If you'd have said in the beginning, can I start this on $12 a day? I probably would have said that's not enough. But now we know that actually I would have been wrong.
That's an incredible story. And I think that's part of, of the beauty of e-commerce. They were sitting here with a guy from Fiji. He's now moved to New Zealand. There was, when I said a shoestring budget, I meant it. I didn't know the exact number either. But it was extremely, extremely sparse. And he, set this thing up. And you know what, Chris, I'm just thinking about this. If someone said to you, I've got $12 to spend a day, you probably would have said, even on Google Shopping, it's not a good place to start. But if you'd have asked me, would you go with Google Shopping or Facebook? I would not recommend, if you got $12 to spend, to go with Facebook. It's just, it's not going to be enough to be able to do any sort of testing. And so it's incredible. And I just love this about e-commerce. Compare this to building a store on Main Street, where if you don't have $150,000, you might as well forget it. There are people in our community that are now in the process of building 6- and 7-figure stores that started, Chris, with $12 in their pocket. I mean, isn't this just incredible?
That's incredible. And like you're in the same, I mean, $12 in a day. I mean, like I said, I couldn't have predicted that would have been enough to get anything going. That just shows how responsive people are to this type of product offering. They respond. And I mean, like you said, I remember in 1995. This is going back when I set up my first Taekwondo school. The sign, just the sign on the front of the building, cost me $5,000. Just the sign. I mean, and you had to have one. It had to be lit up and all. Cost me. I mean, that same sign would probably be $10,000 nowadays, and you had to have it. It was just the sign. I mean, to put a sign in the window, your phone number, the vinyl letters for the phone number in my window was about $300. I mean, these things that we're talking about now with with $12 a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unbelievable. But Sandeep, whilst you're here, let's just bring you in, and because I think members are getting a lot of value from hearing from you. As someone that you've tested this out, what is it you think could go wrong if someone knows what products to sell? They're reverse engineering what's already working. Can you share with anyone what you're scared about that might not work for them? Is there anything that's like you're saying, it may not work for you if you do A, B, or C? Is there anything you want to share with us?
I think A, B, and C will be only one thing, and this will not work for you if you buy this and not take action. Taking action is one of the biggest things you have to do. Google Shopping, unlike AdWords, it's extremely easy. It's really easy. Like there's not much that can go wrong as long as you sort of follow what you need to do, and you get the right designs, you get the right emotion behind that design. And basically after that, Google starts sending you traffic, and as long as everything is okay, you start converting. So taking action is probably the biggest thing. If you don't take action, you will not succeed.
This is very important, by the way, guys, because some people sometimes do get confused between the Google Shopping Network and AdWords. Chris, what is the difference? Why is Google Shopping Network so easy when AdWords has been so complicated for people?
Well, because on AdWords, you're still guessing, right? Like with traditional Google AdWords. Well, first of all, you're not getting a visual ad. You're not getting an image. You're not getting a photo with a price and your URL that pops up. You're going to have your text ad appearing below that. So I don't know why people would not click on images when they see them, as opposed to like they'll scroll and look for text ads. Some people do. But the thing is that you've got to start bidding on keywords. You've got to input the keywords. So if I'm selling, I don't know, if I'm selling something that I think my daughter would like, it's a canvas with a horse on it and some sort of wonderful saying about how horses are awesome. And I'm just summarizing, obviously. But if I make that canvas and I put it on a Google and I have to try to go AdWords, I have to figure out what AdWords, what search terms would apply to that. So I'm going to start sitting there typing things in, typing in a dozen or 100 different words, trying to figure it out. Whereas with Google Shopping takes it. Google Shopping handles it. Google Shopping gives you the keywords. They take care of everything. So people are out there searching. They enter their keywords. I see the stuff. You'll be able to see what search terms Google assigned to you. I see search terms with spelling errors. Like people who are typing, like they'll type for something, but they spelled it wrong. I got that search term, my product showed up. How am I supposed to bid on a poorly spelt search term? I would never get that if I was just doing straight up AdWords. So I hope that kind of illustrates it. The hardest part about AdWords, which is choosing the search terms, is done for you by Google for Google Shopping campaigns. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does make a lot of sense. I'm going to go back to Sandeep in just a second. Wong, you're in and saved. Tanya, you've done it. Bruce Clark is in. Denise Scott, I haven't mentioned some names here. Betty, you're in. Betty Wong, you've done it. Brad, you're in and saved. Adelaide, you're in and saved. You are the latest to join. Sandeep, if I just ask you, in terms of setting up Google Shopping Network, how hard was it for you to set that up? And I know we've been sharing that, there's some things you got wrong and you just did the basics. And look what you've achieved as a result of that. But how complicated is it to get yourself set up with a Google Shopping Network?
It's not complicated at all. All you have to do is literally in Shopify, download the Google Shopping app. You're done. Go to Merchant Center and create that's through your AdWords account, or you can go straight to Merchant Center, create a Merchant Center account, link the two accounts together, which is like one click. You enter the number, click, links the accounts. And basically that's it. You basically have your AdWords account if you've got it, and in there you just create a campaign. That is it. That's 3 steps required.
Unbelievable. Guys, that is pretty much it. Obviously, there's some tweaks that Sandeep did even set up and was able to generate $40,000 over a couple of months, and now is about to scale. We're going to share with you, and this is one of the beautiful things that's happening during these 2 days, Chris, is that we're going to be sharing those tweaks, and you'll be able to literally be a fly on the wall and look at us as we start building out this store and taking this thing to 7 figures. That is the goal of what we want to achieve with these tweaks, and be able to scale up this business for Sandeep. And again, I'm very much appreciative of Sandeep allowing us to share with each and every one of you this strategy. And it's just wonderful to see our members sharing with other members things that are working for them, so that our other members that may not have thought about Google Shopping when it comes to Canvas, seeing them being able to excel as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful environment. I think, Chris, one of the things you noticed in Atlanta, where we met 150 of our closest members, is this camaraderie that exists, this desire that when I find something amazing, I want others to know about it. And guys, and this is just to let you know, when you find something amazing, something that's working, reach out to us. Reach out to us. And I know there's a tremendous desire within our membership to share amazing things that are working for them, so that other people can benefit from their good fortune. So, and this is something that Sandeep's done, and we're incredibly grateful for that. But Chris, you noticed that camaraderie, didn't you, in Atlanta?
Oh, without question. I mean, the most interesting thing is I remember when I first got into this, and I was always kind of skeptical about people. I thought, you know what, if they're having so much success, why are they helping other people? But it's bizarre. The first thing that you want to do when you have success is show everyone else. I mean, I'll never forget our great friend from where were we, in LA? We had Zan Diener. You know, she had an error that I didn't cover into our training. When she built her store, she left her password protection on, and it created an error when she signed up for her Google Shopping account. And she was adamant. She wanted me to make sure she told everybody. Now, if you think about that, she should think, well, oh, I won't tell anybody, because my competitors will all have a hard time. It'll be more money for me. I'll have all of this opportunity because I'm stifling my competition. Whereas that's the furthest thing she wanted to do. The very first thing she wanted to do was help others. James, our friend James, the flight instructor, was in Atlanta. He was so excited to help others. He learns, I mean, if this guy teaches people how to fly airplanes, he could teach them how to run Google Shopping campaigns. He was so helpful and so willing to share. The people who are at the live events, the camaraderie, the networking. I mean, we met Sandeep at a live event. Sandeep's life is changing, and a lot of people here, they're going to go through that same change with us together. We're going to be changing lives here, no question, but it's all the result of networking with members. It's such a positive group of people to work with and benefit from, that I'm personally extremely grateful that I am included in the really successful trainings and working with Barry and Roger and the rest of the group here, and Sandeep now, our newest partner in this. I'm just so happy to see I have the ability to work with everybody. It's made a huge impact on my business for sure.
So, Sandeep, share with everyone the Pinterest tool that we share today in terms of being able to reverse engineer and find stuff that's working. I mean, what does that mean? What is the power of now knowing exactly what people are going crazy about in Pinterest, in terms of being able to apply that to find amazing canvas and just create massive stores of amazing art, so that when someone buys something, they can buy 5, 6, 7 pieces of art all in one go. Can you explain the power of what we showed with Pinterest?
Yeah, Barry, in one word, I'm jealous, because I actually didn't have it, and now everybody gets it. But it is amazing because now you can at least shortlist and see what people like, how many people have saved, pinned the images, and you basically are almost validating a certain image right then and there without even having to sort of go. Let's say if for some reason you don't want to do Google Shopping, you're sort of looking at doing Facebook for some reason, which I don't know why, because Google Shopping gives you so much better traffic. But you don't actually have to validate it. It almost self-validates. It's amazing. Actually, I need to get access to this so that I can use it to get this going even more.
Guys, do you think we should give Sandeep access to that tool? All right, Sandeep, we're going to do it. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, okay. There you go. But of course, and again, guys, all we did was we saw Sandeep and so wait a minute, how the hell did you do that? And he said, okay, what I did is reverse engineer. So then that's when Chris and I came and said, okay, where's the best places to reverse engineer? It's only two places. One is to look at other people's stores, and two has got to be Pinterest. Well, finding other people's stores, thanks to Yossi, what he came up with in order to be able to automate the idea I shared with you before. But then to come up with the Pinterest idea, when Pinterest basically is dead for marketers, we had to basically find a way through the back door. So the combination of those two things, guys, you now know what to sell. Now, Sandeep, from the time that you got started, you set up, you had $12 or $11 in your pocket. Within how long after you had Google Shopping? Obviously, Google starts to optimize and does a bit of work. What was the time frame between setting stuff up and getting your initial sales through the door?
2 days.
Just 2
days.
Days.
Yep.
Guys, 3 hours work, 2 days of patience. Right, guys? You can walk the dog for 2 days. Now, just to be clear about that, you set up for 3 days, in 3 hours rather. During those 2 days, did you do any other work to your campaigns?
No, I just left the campaign. I was just trying to get new canvas designs made because I did not want to mess up with the campaigns because Google started optimizing because it needs a couple of days to scrape the site and make sure everything is okay and you're legitimate and you have all your terms of service, all your contact information, etc. there, and just verify that you're all legitimate. And within those 2 days, I didn't want to touch the campaign at all. All I was doing was getting new designs made and just dumping them on the site.
So guys, there is another prerequisite. You need to have patience. You need to be able to wait 48 hours. You set something up for 3 days. You then walk the dog for 2 days. You go on a trip, you climb a mountain. You go swimming, you cross the Atlantic. You wait 48 hours. That's what Sandeep had to wait and starts getting sales. I mean, isn't that just incredible? And then the focus, your focus, is just getting more and more designs. But that's a piece of cake because you know exactly what you need designed. You know the phrases that you need. That's already now, it's a done deal. Now, Chris, in terms of finding great designers, now we don't even have to find great designers anymore. We just need someone that can take stuff that's already working, tweak it to make it, authentically new. But this really makes life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, so much easier. I mean, like I said, again and again and again, the problem is, what do I sell? I mean, people are wondering, what do I sell? What do I sell? What do I sell? And I mean, Canvas, look at the walls, guys. There's stuff all over the walls, right? So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And again, you don't need to be artistic. You just need to be able to observe and use these tools. We're going to train you on them. You're going to use the tools and see what gets responses. You get that image, you get a nice quote that goes along with the image, you overlay it. Sometimes the images include quotes. You can go to Upwork, you can find a graphic designer to clean it up, or you can just do it yourself. Really, you can just do it yourself if you're handy with a few of the basic tools. I mean, you don't even need to get into Photoshop. Something way more basic than that can be used, and you can get these going. You can actually have these products, and best of all, we're going to show you guys the suppliers, and you're going to be able to tell people 7 to 10 days, assuming you do your fulfillment. If you wait for 2 weeks to do your fulfillment, it's going to be a problem. But we're going to show you how to be able to advertise 7 to 10 days free shipping. That is massive. That is a massive benefit, especially if you've been working and trying to sell things that take 2 to 5 weeks on shipping. You can speed that up, and you're going to have far, far happier customers. And again, that builds your brand, and your brand becomes value. It's not just the money you're making now. You're building something that's going to be worth money later.
Guys, I'm going to do something crazy because I'm canceling the encore today. We won't be doing an encore, but if you would like to join us at MultiPay, I'm going to open up a couple of spots now. If there is a desire, write in the chat box, MP, if you would like to have a MultiPay. If you're on the fence, you want to start making money fast, we've got here's Sandeep that took 48 hours, required a little bit of patience. He set this up in 3 hours. waits 48 hours. Imagine being able to make a fast sale like that. And remember, in Canvas, sales can be worth an absolute fortune. All right, this is what we're going to do, guys. You better be quick for those who write the word MP. Here we go. Here's the link right now. Here we go. Swing it on. LazySpecial.com. 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 Go there right away. If Michael, do me a favor, please put that into the chat box. LazySpecial.com. You need to be faster than Sandeep was to not listen to Roger and to do Google Shopping Network. You need to be fast. Join us ASAP, Lazy Special. We're going to be closing this down in just a second. As soon as you join, let us know in the chat box because we cannot go over the limit. And I can see we got some other people that have joined before I even drop that link. Let's see who's just joined. Charles Miller, our close friend, you're in and safe. Yvonne Roberts, our close friend, is in and safe. Jonathan Pollard, you're in and safe. Pam Hansen is in and safe. Jody White is in as well and is safe. Guys, you need to do this ASAP or you will not make it in. Again, this is the final link. If you want to join a multi-pay, it is LazySpecial.com. You know, Chris, I'm just sitting here listening to Sandeep, couple of bucks in his pocket, makes a sale in 48 hours. Any of this is luck? I mean, let's bring this to Sandeep first. Was this luck or was this good judgment, Sandeep? I mean, to me, it seems like when you've got a winning design, you've got a winning design. And if you're reverse engineering it, obviously we want to make it unique. So you're going to change it up a little bit because you don't want to just go in and grab something for someone else entirely. Sandy, would you say this is luck? This is judgment? How would you define the fact you got to sell so quickly?
It wasn't definitely luck because I knew from Chris that Google Shopping was really where most of the shoppers were. They have their credit card out well before they come in and sort of search anything. So I sort of learned that through GTM, or we're going through and doing GTM, and basically because everybody was focusing on Facebook, and sort of I knew that Facebook was a bit hard. I said to myself, why not try what's easier where all the buyers are, rather than sort of go and try and convert people who are there liking pictures and commenting. Why not go and actually convert a buyer who's already looking for something like this? So it was basically just a calculated decision rather than luck to go there.
You're very clever. And wow, why didn't we think about this earlier, Chris? What's going on with us? Are we like going on here?
You know, I mean, it's entrepreneurship. I mean, I advise people. I have this expression. I say, get out of your own way. I teach people how to do that, and sometimes I have to remind myself to follow it. I mean, people are sitting on the fence and analyzing and questioning, and the old analysis paralysis. Whereas what Sandeep did is he said, okay, let's not analyze things. Let's just say there's a great opportunity on Google Shopping. We know that. There's buyers. We know that. Every click could be a buyer. We don't know which one will be, but we know that they're shoppers. Every click could be a buyer. And if I have $12 a day, that's my budget. There's not a lot else to think about, You don't have to, analyze a million different things. You just do. You just go forward with the tools you have, with the opportunity that you have. You just move forward. That's the key. You just move forward. And Sandeep hit the nail on the head earlier on when he said, the only thing that will stop you is inaction. I mean, if you have not taken action on this, we haven't explained this properly. If you haven't got in on this, we're not explaining it properly, because this is an absolute, the old expression, a no-brainer. Sandeep started this business with an ad budget of $12 per day. People spend more than that on, they spend more than that on coffee. Some people, they go to Starbucks 3 and 4 times a day. This person started a business that's going to be a multi-million-dollar income business and a multi-million-dollar exit business on $12 a day, because he didn't overanalyze things. He looked at the opportunity, believed in the training he received, believed in the experiences that other people had, and just made it happen, guys. I love the story. It just motivates the heck out of me. It inspires me. It's something that I feel really, really fortunate that I'm involved with at this stage.
Cool. So it's not because we're old and our brain cells aren't working as well as they used to, but Sandeep's this young, strapping young man who managed to figure this out. It's just we're entrepreneurs and we can't do everything. Thank you for that reassuring comment, Chris. Guys, we're coming down to the absolute wire here. Absolute wire. Let me go. Just answer the last minute question. Okay. Reverse engineering. Correct. This is a one-time investment, guys. This is a one-time investment. Now, this is not, like a monthly or a yearly. This is a one-time investment. In terms of money investment you need to get started, it's Sandeep's already mentioned. With $10, $12, he was able to get sales in 2 days, which is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. I don't think there's another traffic source that could possibly have happened from the get-go. I mean, it's just an incredible result. And of course, he was generating tens of thousands of dollars over a period of a bunch of months, and he barely touched it. And this is, again, one of the beauties of the Google Shopping Network. You need to find the right type of art and give it to Google. Sandeep, any particular Shopify theme you're using, or you didn't even bother to really focus on that either?
It's the same theme that you guys have been distributing with the Total E-Business course. So it was the RS Sales Machine.
Nice.
And all I did was I sort of changed it around, made it look slightly sort of suited for Canvas, because what you want, one advice I'll give you is the theme you have to modify it to make it a bit sort of not dull, but sort of plain, so that the canvas colors are popping out more. So you don't have your blues and your reds and stuff out there. You sort of make it a bit plain, so whatever design you're putting out is popping out more. So whenever somebody comes and looks at the design, they straight away sort of focus on that design rather than the rest of your site. And just making that call to action button quite obvious as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sandeep. Guys, who wants Sandeep to join Chris for part of that training? Who's excited about that? I mean, I think it's amazing for our Inner Circle members that are going to be part of this to get to fire away and ask Sandeep questions. Who's in for that? Jody, love to see Sandeep. Clay wants to see you there. Kathy loves Sandeep. Very excited, says Ulrich. Fantastic, says Tracy. Amazing, says Joseph. Awesome. Walter's excited. Absolutely, says Sylvia. All right, Sandeep, you've become a public superstar. You must be the most famous Fijian there is in the world right now.
Other than Marcelo Seravi.
All right, the second. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, the last people to join. I can just read out a few names, and we're going to have to close this down, guys. Timothy Chant, you're in and safe. Andres, you're in. Sean Taylor. John R. Johnson. Jesus Varela, you are in, and you are safe. So welcome to you. We're coming down to the wire. We've only got some spots left that we're going to open up for an encore. We can't do one today, unfortunately. And we're going to have a very, very limited encores available moving forward. So if you do get an email, if you wanted to be on an encore, and you are invited to one, you better join it if you want to join it again, because it's going to be extremely limited, and we've only got a few spots left. All right, as we start wrapping this up, guys, and Paul Arbeck, you are the last person to join. Chris, I'm beside myself here. I can't imagine a reason why a person would not want to jump on integrating these two things. You call it entrepreneurship. I call it we're getting old, that we didn't think about it. But who cares? Sandeep got there first and very kindly shared it with everyone. Can you think of a reason why someone should not do this?
I just can't. I mean, I know there's no reason, because the only reason people are here is because they're interested in e-commerce. The only reason they're interested in e-commerce is because they want to turn it into a business that they could work at and generate an income from. And one of the issues that people have been facing is how to overcome quality product selection and how to overcome fast shipping times. This not only overcomes it, it shatters it. I mean, return on investment, that even the best products I've ever promoted on Google Shopping haven't had this type of return on investment. Okay, the best products I've promoted, and I've spent millions of dollars now working, whether it's for my own stores or for client stores, and I've never seen a return on investment like this. So the fact that we can get a return of investment better than any other product I've seen, the fact that we can get it onto Google Shopping, which is incredibly low maintenance, the fact that we can teach people and show people very easily how to get these products, how to source these products, how to be able to fulfill in 7 to 10 days. I mean, it answers every problem that I see. And one of the things that we get to do working together is I get to look into hundreds and hundreds of stores and to see what's going right and what's going wrong. And when I look at the overwhelming majority of the issues tend to be product selection and delivery time. If you can address products by finding things that people like, and we showed you how to do that, and we're going to continue showing you how to do that, that takes care of it. And number two, we're going to show you our suppliers where it's going to get there to your client quickly. That addresses everything. That addresses the pitfalls of other models. It addresses that and shatters those things. So people who are interested in e-commerce, people who are committed to making a business on e-commerce using a Shopify store and are engaged with us, guys, this is where we're directing you right now. This is the place that you're wanting to be. So for those of you guys who have taken action, obviously, congratulations. I can't wait to work with you guys. Look forward to jumping into some of your stores and going one-on-one. For those who are on the fence, get off the fence, guys. Get to it. Like Barry said, maybe we're getting old, crotchety in the brain, overanalyzing things. This addresses the key issues that are pitfalls for so many business owners in our marketplace.
You know what? It's I'm just thinking back to Atlanta when I spoke in Atlanta, and my speech there at the very beginning, I was speaking about how, you know, obviously it means a great deal to us when we meet people like Sebastian, that took one of our products and made 10 million euros and then created a program. He was asked by the French government to create an e-commerce program for underprivileged and unemployed people in France. He's now changing the world. And, you know, we're very proud of our very closest members that are doing these amazing things. But to me, Chris, you know, when I hear of a guy that has got literally pennies in his pocket and has got this determination that he wants to build an e-commerce business, most people out there in the big bad world out there would probably look at their empty pockets of $12 and say, you know what, I'd rather get myself a Starbucks. I'm not going to build a business. I don't have any money. And to see someone like a Sandeep say, you know what, I've got $12. That's incredible. I've got $12. Let's go and find a way to fulfill my dream. To me, I mean, I'm tearing up here. I'm hearing a story of a person that decided, you know, he had this dream to build this, doesn't have the money to do it, and yet finds a way to use that money productively. $12 to bring back a couple of $100 in 2 days that he can then reinvest and spend some more money. That brings him more sales. They can reinvest and starts a business that we believe has the potential to take him to 7 figures because he spent $12 on Google Shopping Network instead of going to buy a Starbucks or whatever the equivalent is in New Zealand. This is an astonishing journey that Sandeep has started to travel on. And there's so many of our members that have traveled in that type of journey. And it's so gratifying seeing people do this, meeting them in person. And what I find even more gratifying is that Sandeep could have easily kept this to himself. Yeah, we helped him out, and we're helping out the tweaks. And, you know, we kindly said, you know, Sandeep, would you be willing to share this with other members? But he didn't have to do it. We didn't put him under pressure to do it. But he almost feels that, you know what, if I'm able to do this, I can be an inspiration to other people that can do this. He's not even in America. Yes, he's selling mainly to Americans. He's as far away. I mean, there is no place on earth that is further away from the US mainland, I think, than Fiji and New Zealand, for goodness sakes. is in the end of the world, right? It's unbelievable. So I want everyone just to think about this just for 1 second, the privilege that we have, that we're part of a community, that we have people like Sandeep's in it. You know, this is a privilege to be part of this community. And it is so gratifying. And my only wish, and I'm saying this now from the depths and depths of my heart, and I hope what comes from my heart enters into the heart of every single person that's been sitting here. You've been here for 2 hours and 18 minutes. You are the most dedicated people there are in this universe, right? You are sitting here for 2 hours and 18 minutes. You are dedicated. I get that. My greatest blessing and desire for you is that you have the courage to take action, to do what Sandeep did, to take action and allow yourselves to break, for those who've had a hard time in the past, to allow yourself the opening for a breakthrough. You don't need to have a mass budget. You don't need to have incredible creativity, but you do need to have a belief that you too can do this. And if Sandeep can do it with 12 bucks in his pocket, then you too can find that 12 bucks from somewhere. Everyone can do it. And I just deeply hope, as Sandeep said so succinctly and so nicely before, is that the only thing that can hold you back is yourself, is your inability to actually follow and spend 3 hours to set this thing up. That is the only thing that could really hold you back. Finding great canvas is easy. Getting set up with Google Shopping is easy, but you need to spend a few hours. If you can't even do that, is to make sure you outsource it to someone that can do it. And you provide them with Chris's training to make sure that you have all the tweaks and all the bells and whistles in place so that you can actually get the best possible results. So I just want to say, Chris, and firstly to you, Sandeep, that you blew me away in Atlanta when I first saw what you'd achieved. And you've blown me away even more since I've got to know you, the more intimate part of the story. No one knew that you started on a couple of bucks in your pocket. That is the most sensational story I've heard in a jolly long time. And it's a privilege that we've got members like you, Sandeep. So first, thank you so much for what you've done and what you share with everyone. But Chris, I'm sitting here, I'm all teared up. I mean, I don't have any words anymore to describe what, a story like Sandeep and so many other Sandeeps are in this community. I just hope that others that aren't there yet have the courage to throw in their efforts and spend those few hours to get this type of stuff set up. What are your thoughts?
I mean, that's one of the great things, Barry. It's the sincerity. And I know you're saying you're tearing up, and I mean, there's stuff that I've never discussed on webinars. I'm not going to jump into yet because I don't know that I'd get through it from experiences that I've witnessed or even experiences in my own life. But all I can say is that the sincerity comes from an understanding. I mean, it's great to do well. I mean, but I know Barry, I know Roger, I know myself. We don't forget what it was like when we looked at our family, wondering where the money was going to come from to feed them. I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to freak out here. I'm going to start getting emotional. But like, I remember that. I mean, I know that. Barry, I know you know that. When you're wondering what's going to change, what's going to happen, and how now we're in a position where we can identify with people who are going through exactly that issue. And I mean, we can look at them and say, I know you, I was you. And then when we can put forward an offer like this, where we can show people, look, this guy that also was in the same spot, $12 a day, built this business and is going to go to astronomical places. It's something that it's just it's an emotional experience to bring it forward to people, because I know what it would have meant to me when I was in those situations, and I know what it's going to mean to people who are going to act on this and lock arms with us and go along the training with us and get this business going for themselves. I know the impact it's going to have on them, and I just can't wait to be involved with all of you guys who are joining in to lock arms with me. It inspires me. And again, like I said, there's a lot of different stories we could go into, but all I can say is you're not alone, and we do understand where you're coming from because we've been there too.
Absolutely amazing. Sandeep, I hope you haven't got all teary listening to our our feelings about you and your story, but what are the final words that you'd like to share with our members?
Final word I'd like to say is, guys, if you've come into this program, and that's probably one of the best decisions you've made for your life, because as long as you put in action into this program, there's no other thing you should be expecting other than success. If I can start off with $12 US or $20 New Zealand and go from there to earning about 45,000, I mean, you guys, and I'm basically on the other end of the world. Whereas you guys, if most of you are based in America, you're basically in the land of opportunities. There shouldn't be anything here that should be that difficult to overcome or achieve. You should be able to do it. You should be able to crush it, kill it, move forward. You hit a barrier, you move forward, and you just have to kill this.
Awesome, awesome. Sandeep, thank you so much. Final words from you are absolutely amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. There is no encore because this has just gone ridiculous right now. We need to recoup and look at the numbers right now to see if what we can do. Chris is going to be having his work cut out working with our members. This has just been absolutely insane. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Here are the links again for one final chance if you want to be part of this. A couple of spots left and we are done. Lazy Can for 1 pay. Save Lazy if you need to speak to someone. Lazy Special if you want to join at 3 pay. You need to do this ASAP. Put that, please. You can do be one of our team if you could put that into the chat box because we will be closing this down in just a second. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sandeep. And thank you, guys. You're the most dedicated group community that I've ever had the pleasure of being part of. I'm so proud of you guys, so proud of the successes that we've generated. And I'm so proud of those members that have had a hard time in the past. There's somebody who've grinded their way rather, to getting that initial breakthrough that's allowed them to change their lives. I love hearing these stories. If you have something you want to share with us about your story, about your breakthrough, you want to be the next Sandeep and share that with us, let us know. Really successful support, and tell Michal and her wonderful team to let us know about it here. We'd be happy to hear about your story. There's so many of them, and I love hearing them every time I do get these stories. Anyway, guys, the links are on the page. We're done. Thank you so much. And looking forward to be crushing this. You've got 2 days of incredible training coming your way with the tools to be able to go out there and start crushing this. Let's make this happen. The journey is about to begin, and you guys that have just joined us are going to be part of this sensational journey that you're taking with us. Can't wait to hear of your results. Thanks, everyone.